it. Chat, I hate it. I hate it. I hate it. Let me share. I love my, like, share tab option, and the first thing that pops up is Haikyuu. I've been getting Haikyuu pilled by my roommate. We'll get there soon, probably, because I'm probably gonna read my roommate's fanfic on here when it comes out. Hi, Reef. Hi, darling. Hello. May 7th when we got the first bit of the chapter. 113 days. 113 days. May 7th was when we got the first bit of this chapter. Oh, I see. I see. Dang. I mean, the very funny thing is that I do have early access to these chapters, kind of, because I'm in a different server with Jaime, but like I'm like, no, I'm gonna stream that shit, so I can't read it. Can't read it. Perfect. So this is chapter 29 of Give Me That Candy Floss. Hanwoo porridge with mouse ears. And trust, I will make this. Or maybe I won't, because it requires hanwoo beef, which I'm assuming is very expensive. But listen, I'll go to H Mart and I'll try it out. Like I tried fucking machamyan, even though machamyan was much easier than this. But okay, wait, this is funny. 250 grams of hanwoo beef, finely minced, 1 cup of white rice, 1/4 cup of carrots, white onions, shiitake mush. You know what? Just a shit ton of fiber. I mean, yeah, that sounds like Jaime, all right. 2 tablespoons of guk ganchang. Guk ganchang. 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 Give me a second. Is that one of the... Yeah, oh. Gukkanj, isn't that just soy sauce then? Anyway, 3 rat crossed out mouse ears for decor. Oh, Jaime's been through like so much shit. Jaime's been going through like the worst of the AO3 curse naturally. I'm guessing the bigger your fic gets, the worse the AO3 curse is. I don't know. Now wait for the bowl to simmer for 113 days like your friends rain checking you for an amusement park date. Dramatic sigh. Simmer your $400 bowl of soup for 30 minutes. Oh, Jaime. Somehow I'm still alive. There were and are rats in my walls, but now we're all chilling together as a family. Speaking of rats, I've also had mice in my apartment. And during this time, I've had mice in my apartment. We contacted our landlord and we need to schedule a date for like the exterminator to come in. But the thing is that whenever we call someone, they just lay useless traps around, traps that don't work, that don't do anything, and there are still rats everywhere. Anyway, this was originally about 45k words long, but I cleaved it in half for everyone's sake. Most of the good stuff is in the last half of this chapter, so you got 1 more week before the oven explodes. I mean, gets here on AO3. Consider this part 1 of 2 of a little interlude. Yes, beach anime episode. I mean, that makes sense. That tracks. I'm thinking, because Jaime was saying something about the chapter 30 of it all. I don't know if he meant chapter 30 as in the part 2 of this or the original chapter 30, because there's some shit going down in chapter 30. That's what I know. This is just the Disneyland date. Disney World? Disneyland. Disney World is Orlando. Sorry. Disneyland. What are we reading today? GTC. The live just started. Hi, Nick. Also, I feel like I haven't seen you. Jesus has returned her. GTC chapter 29 is what we're reading. Yes. Chapter 30 is where they get married and nothing bad happens. Girl, that's gonna be chapter 40. If this just keeps going on like this. So okay, give me a sec, let me take a sip, and let's start reading this. Let's start golfing it down. Oh God. The hardest part about the post idol life has to be the urgency of the digital box at her fingertips. Every morning starts the same these days, though she used to have the same complaint back when she was an idol, too. Nowadays, instead of 3 a.m. dance practices, there are board meetings. Instead of stage blockings, there are budget spreadsheets that require the same kind of precision. Her diet, at least, remains unchanged. Fried mackerel and rice have never let her down. Kimmy still makes fun of her eating the same damn thing. Fuck, fuck. We're starting with a flashback. Fuck, fuck, fuck. Oh no. Oh no. I'm back in the building. Oh no. It's a flashback. Oh no. Oh no. Kimmy still makes fun of her for eating the same damn thing every day, even though she's always been the one to paddle out the rice for her. Myung had always found it endearing. Sometimes she wonders if the tedium of her life and diet might need to change one of these days. It's a fucking Celine POV. Fuck my stupid bucket life. Oh no. Oh no. We're like 100 words in. But Celine doesn't think the monotony is worth complaining about. People would kill to be in her position. People have killed to be in her position. Power, as awfully insipid as it can be, often comes at a bloody price. She still finds it bizarre that no one was willing to fight her for this position. Oh my god. I'm gonna check something real quick and then I'll be back. Okay, cool. Cool. No one got. Cool. Though staring at her giant wall of emails she'll be sorting through for the next few hours, minimum if she decides not to get up for a bathroom break, she has a grim feeling that it was given to her to save their own hides. She certainly had her work cut out for her in the first few months, and still does now, even if the pudgy, sweaty intern with the patchy chin hair keeps telling her that she's doing just fine. Oh, God. Celine grimaces at the first email she opens. The gaudy logo in the corner already makes her dread reading the short paragraph underneath. Conglomerates that have monopolies always assume that they'll get what they want, no matter how they ask. Even more so now after Kang Min Sok has passed a seat onto his ill tempered son. If it had been up to Celine, she would have kept that position vacant until 50 years after her death. Minimum. Celine takes a few sips of her tea to wake up. Coffee would have been preferable, but she'd been put on a forced caffeine cleanse after she couldn't stop complaining about migraines last weekend. What little caffeine is in the tea is better than nothing at all, she supposes, especially for days like this. Her fingers feel frigid on the keyboard. Only 2 emails sent, and her hands are already feeling the after effects. She can already hear Myung's snippy lectures about doing her wrist exercises and slathering the tiger balm she got her over the bones of her. She smells it before she feels it bump against the back of her hand. Geramari. Hot and fresh, Kimmy says happily, her chair scraping gently against the floor as she presses close to Celine. I stopped by the shop you said makes the best geramari in town. Celine's fingers hover over her keyboard as she stares at the open box. 3 neat rolls of geramari. She glances up at Kimmy with an arched eyebrow, and Kimmy's grin turns sheepish at the corners. I kind of got hungry on the way, she explains with a forced laugh. You don't mind, do you? I can always go back if you want more. Celine exhales in lieu of a laugh. She pushes out her chair, just by a few centimeters, and pivots to face Kimmy. Kimmy's already passing her a pair of chopsticks. Bamboo, just like how she liked them after their first tour in Nagoya. There's a folded napkin by the box, along with a small bottle of hand sanitizer. You know me too well, Celine says with a relieved sigh. On any other day, she would dig into the first egg as slowly as possible to keep the pretense of aplomb and sang-froid. Sang-froid? Aplomb and sang-froid? Is that French? Aplomb? What aplomb? What does that mean? What does that mean? Sorry, I need to look it up. Aplomb and what? Is it just sang-froid? I don't know. Aplomb. Aplomb, aplomb, up, self-confidence or assurance, especially when demanding. Sang-froid? Sorry, Jaime is giving me the freaking SAT words again. Composure? Sang-froid. Yeah, sang-froid. Yeah. Glad I wasn't the only one who had to look them up. Girl, like, I don't know. I don't know. Words are hard, especially when you can't be sure of what language they're in. Anyways, pretense of aplomb and sang-froid, I think. But Kimmy has seen far worse things in their dingy old dorm room when they were trainees. The same went for Celine. Hence her stuffed cheeks full of garamari. It makes Kimmy giggle, and Celine gently kicks her under her desk to get her to stop. You're so cute when you eat, Kimmy gushes, cheeks propped on both palms as she watches. Celine doesn't even attempt to conceal the roll of her eyes. She remembers to chew well and swallow before she remarks, if that's the only reason you brought me food, then I should call someone over to kick you. To kick you. No, don't do that, please. Kimmy whines, melting onto the table and pouting in the same way that puppy dogs do when they don't get the bone they want. Celine conceals her smirk with another bite of her food. I was just worried about you. I wanted to make sure you ate well. You said the same thing before you recorded me trying to shotgun your beer the other week, Celine says flatly. I can have two agendas, Kimmy shoots back with a pout. It makes her laugh again. Besides, what kind of girlfriend would I be if I let you go hungry and die? God, they're like already dating because I'm trying to remember how it was in Polaris. In Polaris, Celine just says that they loved each other, but I don't remember if it gives any details on whether or not they were like actually dating. So, ooh. Okay. Besides, what kind of girlfriend would I be if I let you go hungry and die? A few hours at the office without food won't. Celine starts, exasperated. Kimmy smacks her sharply on the arm. It stings, but Celine's gotten used to it over the years. Probably a little too much. And in different regions. Thank you, Jaime. Thank you. Did you see the news yesterday about that office lady who died at her desk and no one at her company noticed for 3 weeks? Kimmy says with a gasp. Her claws dig into Celine's arm as she shakes her. A little shake would have been sufficient, but Celine has long abandoned the idea of Kimmy ever learning not to death grip. What if that's you next? First, I'm a COO, Celine says matter-of-factly. She doesn't have to point at her shiny nameplate at the corner of her desk to make her point. Her office already does it for her. If I don't respond to a call in 3 minutes, there's someone knocking incessantly at my door like I have 40 hours in a day. You have nothing to worry about. Kimmy only pouts. What? Celine asks, and it's hard to keep the laughter out of her voice. See, now you're making me think that you're overworking yourself, Kimmy whines. She stretches over and presses her cheek to Celine's shoulder while she eats. I thought you promised you wouldn't work so hard. I'm not, Celine says smoothly. I'm eating right now, and I started my day at 5:30 instead of 5. 5:30 instead of 5. If anything, I'm starting to wonder if I'm slacking off too much. 저기요. Give me 1 second. 저기요. In different regions, the face I just made. Sorry, I'm giggling at Jagia because I don't think anyone here would know. But anyway, Jagia! Kimmy whines again. It makes her chuckle. She pokes at another roll and cuts it down the middle before stuffing it into her mouth. It's as delectable as the first time she had it with Kimmy and Miyang. She still remembers the way Kimmy's face lit up when she tried the first bite, and how Miyang had giggled and hidden her smile behind a fist. Simple, simple times. It makes her wish she had ordered a second tray of it rather than rushing them out the door to get ready for another performance. It's a shame genies don't exist. Is it good? Kimmy asks happily, unsticking her cheek from Celine's shoulder to watch her. I asked them to make it extra crispy for you, just how you like it. They could have probably added more peppers, Celine muses, poking at the last roll in the box. But it's a minor complaint. It tasted great. It always tastes great when it's from you. The smile on Kimmy's face makes forcing herself to eat instead of work all the more worth it. But then Kimmy's face drops only half a second later. Celine cocks an eyebrow. What? What? Kimmy babbles. You so? Kimmy kicks her under the desk. You said you'd never call me that if we were alone. I said I would never call you that if we were alone and I wasn't frustrated. Since when? Since now. You can't just you saw. Celine warns again. She puts down her chopsticks and Kimmy swallows back the rest of her wine with a thick gulp. What's wrong? The last time you looked at me like that, you'd forgotten that our reservation in Paris was in a different time zone. Celine expects a whiny, that was one time, or at least another quick slap on the arm, or a pinch to the elbow, or a roll of the eyes to show her displeasure at the memory. Anything that wasn't a quiet, unmistakable, um, they they asked if we want to eat with them tomorrow night for dinner. It hangs between them like a body bag dumped in the middle of her office. It's Myung and Myung's husband, Rumi's dad, whatever. I don't remember his name, I'm guessing. A body bag dumped in the middle of her office, heavy and disorienting, like knowing exactly what it means without having to peel back the layers, but also knowing nothing at all. Celine quietly clears her throat and picks up her chopsticks again. Back to eating the last roll in the box. Kimmy doesn't seem to mind. Which one? Celine asks. Kimmy tilts her head. Huh? Which one of them asked to eat over for dinner? Celine clarifies. There's no bitterness in her words. She doubts she has the capacity for it. There's no reason to. I doubt Sojun would ask. He's scared to death of me, even though I've told him over and over that it's water under the bridge. He sighs irritably. Miyang might have, but Rumi did, Kimmy says. Sully frowns. She must have misheard. What? Rumi did, Kimmy says, a little more confidently. Her laugh teeters to the humorless side this time. Nearly had a heart attack this morning when I woke up and heard her voice on the phone. She kept insisting it was an emergency and that I needed to be fully awake to hear her out. Celine holds back a snort and holds the last piece over her mouth. She gets the flair from her mother. I don't see it, Kimmy shrugs casually, but she presses her lips together to keep from smiling. I think she gets it from you. The offended noise that she makes in the back of her throat is wholly because she can't speak with her mouth full. It makes Kimmy burst into giggles, and Celine exercises iron restraint not to kick her with the sharp tip of her loafer to get her to stop. So, Rumi asked if we could come over to eat dinner with her family, Celine asks. It's not exactly the hardest thing to believe. That's 100% something that Rumi would do. Rumi loves it whenever people come over to their house. She loves it whenever people clap and cheer for her around the living room while she sings her little heart out with the echoey toy mic that she got for Christmas 2 years ago. Kimmy keeps her chin propped on her hand as she nods and giggles. She promised me that she would make jeyukbokgung with her dad for us. Apparently, she already has it marinating in the fridge. What does she want us over for? Celine asks again, incredulous. She combs through the significance of this week in her head. No one has a birthday coming up. Rumi's tests aren't until 2 weeks later, and neither Sojun nor Miyang have graced the TV screens with the good news of Miyang's comeback to the industry. It's simply a boring, rainy week. Girl, just like here, just like New York. Kimmy shrugs at her question. She's a kid. She's probably bored out of her mind and wants people to talk to. She's not exactly the most sociable kid in her class. Celine's frown deepens. She has a lot of friends. Kimmy shakes her head and clarifies. Not the kinds of friends who would come over for dinner whenever she asks and make bokgung with her. There's an argument on the tip of her tongue, but Kimmy forges on. Come on, it's one dinner. One or both of them probably won't be home anyway. You know how busy they are with everything. Trying to get their foot back in the door after they were forcibly thrown out for a teen pregnancy scandal, and with a man of questionable background at the height of their success isn't exactly the easiest thing in the world. Celine's offered as much help as she could possibly give. A lease to a small apartment is all they could bear taking from her without curling their lips too much. It probably mean it would probably mean the world to the princess. Kimmy teases. She calls her princess too. Wait, what if I cried? It would probably mean the world to the princess. Kimmy teases, rubbing her elbow into Celine's side. Don't pretend you don't miss her. I can see it all over your face. Celine sighs slowly through her nose. She resists the urge to pinch the bridge of it just this once. She knows how much Kimmy hates it when she does. Kimmy always says that it makes her look too mean to people who don't know her. I have a lot of things to do this week, Celine says, exasperated. I can try moving things around next weekend, but Eggia, Kimmy whines, pressing her head back into Celine's side. You're going to regret not doing it sooner one of these days. They miss you. Rumi misses every, not just Rumi, Kimmy mumbles. Celine's shoulders stiffen, but Kimmy doesn't comment on it. Miyang and Sojun too. Mostly Miyang. I can tell she gets sad when I come over to visit and you're not there with me. She'll live, Celine says. She hadn't meant for it to come out as acrid as it does. Again, Kimmy doesn't comment. Not directly, anyway. Just because she's with So doesn't mean that she doesn't have time for you and me. There was a time ago when they were dominating every single chart in the country and they were almost literally on top of the world. There was a time when they were almost the world to each other. Celine despises that word. Almost, almost, almost. It taunts her at night, even when she knows that she should be happy. Kimmy was like her in the beginning, too, just as heartbroken and bitter about the whole situation, and confused and frustrated about everything else. A scandal like that almost would have been far worse than the headlines about Sojun's less than proper family and their subsequent pudgy goguma shaped surprise. Goguma shaped surprise. Maybe Myung knew that and took the lesser of two evils for everyone's sake. It was that line of thinking that let Kimmy make peace with it before Celine could. Celine promised her that she would follow suit one of these days. On most days, she can keep up the facade. She's starting to think that it was the first lie she ever told one of her girls. The world keeps spinning, and Celine's not sure where she fits in it anymore. Love, the kind that she almost experienced, has no place in this world. Kimmy rests a gentle hand on hers. Her eyes are warm and chocolatey, her smile just as sweet. I'll be there with you the entire time, Kimmy assures her. I promise. And I'm sure Rumi will find a way to distract you too. The memory of Rumi's last impromptu kitchen concert makes Celine bark out a short laugh. She turns her head so she can squeeze Kimmy's palm right back. I'll think about it, Celine promises, then brings Kimmy's knuckles up to her lips. I'll talk to some people tonight to see if I can move things around tomorrow. Then, she whines. Kimmy pays her no mind. She squeals, wrapping Celine up in a tight hug as she presses kiss after kiss on Celine's face. Thank God Kimmy left the red lipstick behind today. She doesn't have any makeup wipes by her desk anymore to clean up that emergency. Thank you. Oh, you're the best, Kimmy squeals. She puts her hands on Celine's shoulders to look at her closely. I'll have to go soon. Are you sure you don't want me to pick up anything for you tonight? Celine waves a tired hand in her direction and gently spins her chair back towards her monitor. Drive safe, she says offhandedly. It's going to rain all week. If you're missing an umbrella, ask someone downstairs to fetch you one. And please, you know how much I don't like it when you track mud into the penthouse. Yeah, yeah, Kimmy says with a fond eye roll. She's already moving her chair back to the other side of the desk, leaving things how they were in Celine's office, just how she always likes it. Don't work too hard, Kay? A surprise for dinner. Celine rests her chin on her steepled hands and sighs through her nose in amusement. She glances up over her monitor. Hopefully another massage. Spoiled, Kimmy mutters with a shake of her head. She doesn't say no, at least. Kimmy presses a kiss to Celine's temple. Not too much PDA for an office setting, but just enough to get the point across. It makes Celine's lips twitch into a smile. Sarangye. Celine waves her off. She waits until she hears the click of the door to pull up her email. She scrolls through her contacts and clicks on her main intern, then types up a message asking him to cancel her plans for tomorrow night. Her fingers hover over the keyboard. She thinks back to all the times her stomach roiled watching Sojun feed his wife, whenever she came over for dinner. She thinks of Rumi too. She thinks of Rumi's smile, one so close to her mother's that it felt uncanny, adorably strange. Celine blinks back the dry sting in her eyes. Hours spent staring at a screen have made eye drops a permanent accessory in her purse and every drawer of her desk. She deletes the email in the end. She can always just say that tomorrow's meetings are too important to pass up. And in a way, that isn't exactly a prevarication. There will be more dinners in the future. The world keeps spinning, and it has no use for the feelings of a woman it will inevitably leave behind. Who? Jesus. It has no feelings for a woman it will inevitably leave behind. It's crazy. My girl Celine. My girl Celine. Rose is here? Hello. I just can't wait for the next chapter. You know what chapter? So I can, I was wondering that. So is that next chapter with the split? Or was it next chapter before the split? Is what I'm wondering. Evilly tragic way to start a chapter. No, literally. Hi, Zen. Will there be Celine? Will there be Celine? Are you sure about that? Jesus. Jesus Christ, I need to catch up on. Oh, Jaime said they're splitting after they mentioned that. So I'm guessing it will be chapter 31. Because yeah, now chapter 30 will be the part 2 of the Disney trip. So there will still be stuff happening, but I don't believe it will be stuff. You know what I mean? Let me lower this just a tad bit. Give me a second. Come down. Calm down. Calm down. Oh my god. Oh my god. Cooperate. Cooperate with me. Cooperate with me. No. My bet is 31 after split. That's what I think. Ah, yes. Stuff. Yeah. Okay. Turn around. Turn around every now and then. I love me some stuff. Every now and then I gotta let. Okay. I'm normal. Oh, there were a couple of people in the YouTube. AO3 gods had to nerf Jaime. They were too strong. Title of chapter 30, The Wildest Ride of Zoe's Life. Wink, wink. Sorry. The mention of stuff as we're talking about smut, don't worry. Who doesn't love a good stuffing? Oh my god. Sorry, doing this after coming from work has my mind just like so um work is so funny. That's how I find out there's an update. Yeah, baby. Yeah. I mean, usually there are updates on Friday. But Jaime was like, "Sorry, I saw the Odyssey and I was very Odyssey pilled, so I forgot." But I'm just like, "It's okay, Jaime. Jaime, it's okay." Um, okay. The next part is Zoe POV. What a time to be alive. Okay. Next part is Zoe POV. You're even using the mushroom mic. Of course I am. Um, listen, I have my better mic over there, but I have sunlight right now. And when I have sunlight, I want to use the sunlight. So, yeah. Zoe had the best sleep of her life the night before her grand trip to the happiest place on earth. Well, that's what she would have said. It wasn't even her fault. She took a nice old melatonin gummy, two of the magnesium gummies Mira brought her on their last grocery run, and turned on the white noise machine that Rumi got her when she complained about the crickets outside. It took her 2.5 weeks to come up with the perfect plan to make sure she wasn't dead tired at the land of dreams, and she sure as hell wasn't going to waste it. It was hard enough finding a weekend that worked for all three of them, what with Rumi's recording schedules, Mira's phone meetings, and her cranky dad telling her to deep clean a random room, blah, blah, blah. But hey, at least they made it. She definitely appreciates them for moving their schedules around for her. What she doesn't appreciate is the fact that they don't seem to understand the importance of sleeping before a big game or a Disney trip. Ruby isn't even in her room physically. She's been busy the past 2 days working on something in LA for a future collab. So the three of them have been banished to a three-way, God, she wishes, phone call while they wait for the reunion at the park. Still, Rumi's already woken her up twice in the past 2 hours. At 3 in the morning and then at 4 in the morning. Four! Not even 6 or 7! Thank you, Jaime. To her credit, at least it wasn't on purpose. Just Rumi shuffling around on the other end and the speakerphone amplifying it to all hell, even with the volume turned all the way down. She apologized the first time, but the second time, at a crisp 4:30 a.m. in sunny California, Rumi had pressed close to the phone to whisper shout into the mic, "Are you awake? Are you ready to go?" Mira obviously never woke up to scold Rumi with her. Probably her and her dumb $5,000 earplugs or something. Mira only bothered to wake up at 5 o'clock, pounding at her door and swinging it open to tell her that they ran out of toilet paper and that she was going to get some more before they headed to Anaheim. Her footsteps were so heavy coming down to her bedroom that Zoe had called her Godzilla. Mira didn't get the reference. Rich girls. I mean, girl, I don't think being rich is a good excuse to not get that reference. At that point, at that point, you need to touch some grass. Literally. By the time Zoe wakes up to her alarm at 6 in the morning, she is already admitted defeat. Scrolling on her three favorite apps in bed isn't the worst thing in the world. It's how she got through morning classes all through high school. High school, Zoe didn't get to go to Disneyland with two baddies, though. Kate, maybe baddie doesn't capture how great Rumi and Mira are to her. Sorry, I was just like, my mind was two baddies, one point. They're great. They're wonderful. Rumi likes to hand feed her while she's locked in playing Osu sometimes, and Mira gives great shoulder massages after streams. And she's casually dating them both. Zoe's phone slips from her hand and smacks her right in the face. It's the least of her worries. She would have slapped herself if her phone hadn't. Dating two really great, really awesome, super hot, holy shit, what the fuck baddies hadn't been on her New Year's resolution, and neither had going to motherfucking Disneyland on her dad's dime with them. Mira swings the door open again. Zoe whines, "Hey, knock, you weirdo!" Sorry, Mira says in a way that doesn't sound sorry at all. She yawns and scratches the back of her ear, her nose wrinkling in the same way it does in Zoe's candid contact photo. Zoe wishes she had enough energy to jump up and kiss it. Maybe later. Are you getting up soon? I was thinking about hitting up a drive-through on the way so we can get there earlier. Eating cereal for breakfast takes 10 minutes, Zoe points out. Mira shrugs. 10 minutes you could have used on a ride. What, like you? Zoe teases. You'd need more than 10. Mira answers easily, but Zoe spots the nearly imperceptible tense of her shoulders. Ha, loser. Get up, dum dum. Why do you have to ruin the morning vibe, dude? Zoe whines. You're the one person who didn't want to get a hotel room. Mira shrugs. She knows Mira means business when her nose doesn't even twitch at Zoe's dude. So we gotta leave early. Have you seen the prices for the hotels near Disney? Zoe asks, affronted. One night was like half of my tuition. Driving's better. We could have paid for it. Yeah, whatever. Zoe sits up on her elbows and sticks out her tongue. This is my treat, remember? Well, my dad's, but I'm tossing in some of my savings too. If you offered to buy me anything at the park, just remember what I told you. A sizable threat, if she says so herself. No way Rumi or Mira would let her throw herself under the wheels of the parade floats to die. Mira rolls her eyes. God, you can be so dramatic, she mutters. You love it, Zoe says proudly. I love you, Mira clarifies, and Zoe beams. Not your attitude. Now get up. Rumi said she's already on the way to the park. Already? Damn, and she thought she was the excited one. Mira kicks up a plushie from her floor and throws it directly at Zoe's stomach, softly and not close to her face, but it still makes Zoe laugh and hide under the covers just in case Mira continues her barrage. Her barrage? Her barrage. Thankfully, Mira just throws out one last get up or I'm leaving without you and closes her door, as if either of them would ever believe that. And thankfully, for both of them, Zoe already had the entire day planned out front to back to front, side to side, and whatever orientation she's forgetting. Maybe Rumi was right about religiously keeping up with her agendas and note taking. Is she going to start keeping an agenda and writing down to do lists so she can remember things in the future? Probably not, but at least she had the experience of doing it for good old Disneyland. Zoe speeds through her morning routine and jumps down to the bottom of the stairs with her hand brush still stuck in a portion of her bangs. It nearly gives her dad a heart attack, and he lectures, "We can't afford another hospital bill," before she waves him away with a quick apology and sprints to the kitchen. Mira's drinking coffee against her kitchen counter, phone in hand as she scrolls. Her messy morning bun makes Zoe want to pick her up and eat her for breakfast instead. But alas, Disney awaits, and the mouse waits for no one. That's and I told you not to make breakfast, Zoe scolds, sliding next to Mira to peer down at the warming toaster. We were supposed to eat at the park. She pouts at the toast. It's a bid to make Mira and the toast feel bad. Oh man, what about the breakfast chimichanga and Ronto wraps that Reddit was telling her to get for breakfast? Or the breakfast shawarma at an Avengers campus if they had enough time to swing by the DCA? Or actually, the toast smells kind of nice. Did you put butter on it? Zoe asks suspiciously. Mira brings her mug back to her lip, sips annoyingly loudly, but it doesn't hide the twitch of her smile. Zoe whines and pinches the side of her very bare, who the fuck wears a crop top this early? Wow, yum, stomach. And Mira guffaws. It makes the coffee in her mug slosh around, but she wisely puts it down before either of them can do any more damage. It's just toast, Mira defends. I didn't forget about eating at the park. It's not like you were talking about it for hours all week and in your sleep. Yeah, it's Zoe's favorite trick in the book. A couple of seconds with her palms on Mira's bare stomach always makes Mira shut up. Something about her hands being too warm, and I didn't say ticklish, I just said uncomfortable. Stop, I don't hate you. Which is funny because Rumi had always complained that her hands were too cold. Same tickle factor, though Rumi surrenders to the tickle bites with more dignity than Mira does. Okay, I'm sorry, Mira huffs. Just toast, then we can leave. I just wanted to have something before we left, before one of us threw up from the heat, or the car ride, or excitement. The last comment feels slightly targeted, but Zoe's in too good a mood to let that ruin it. You eat so slow, she points out with a groan. Mm. Yeah, she points out with a groan. What if we're late? What if we get stuck in morning traffic? Dude, there's a very tight window in Cali for the morning rush, you know? I had it all mapped out and every. We'll be fine, Mira says firmly. She picks up her mug again and takes another sip. Just the act of leaning against the counter and sipping makes someone like Kang Mira look so unfairly sexy. Or maybe that's just Zoe's hormones. Or both. With her mug slightly tilted back. Oh my god, I can't read. With her mug slightly tilted back, Mira continues. You can eat it in my car if you want. Just eat something. Zoe quirks an amused eyebrow. What? Mira complains. You let me eat in your car? When Mira only gives a small nod, Zoe deadpans. Really? Mira shrugs and takes another sip. Once again, it does nothing to hide the gentle smile on her face. Sometimes it reminds Zoe of a lazy lioness. A pink one, maybe. A pink panther? Maybe I'm just in a good mood, Mira says innocently. Or maybe you're just a big sap, Zoe teases. Mira rolls her eyes, but Zoe can still see the twitches at the corners of her lips and the way her body seems so relaxed in the golden morning light. The gentle pop of the toaster feels like the cherry on top of a really good day to be. All she needs to do is change, do one last look over of her trusty backpack for the day, and text Rumi to make sure that she'd had something to eat before she left the house, too. Mira catches her eye while Zoe fishes out the two pieces of toast with the very tips of her fingers. She puts a half-eaten. My baby, baby, baby. Oh, I see. That's Zoe. Okay, Mira catches her eye while Zoe fishes out the two pieces of toast with the very tips of her fingers. She put a half-eaten bagel on Sunbeam half an hour ago, she says casually. It's nice having a best friend who can read her mind like that. Oh wait, was that Mira? I always get confused when both of their names are mentioned in the sentence. That's Mira. She put a half-eaten bagel on Sunbeam half an hour ago, she says casually. That makes sense. To thank her for the intel and for the scrummily scrumptious buttered and sugar sprinkled toast, Zoe stands on her tiptoes and gives her a quick peck on the lips. Oh my god, it's so cute that they can do that now. It's so cute that they can do that now. Like, hell yeah. She feels Mira's entire body lock up, and she giggles as she slides Mira's small plate of toast over and hoards her own to bring upstairs. It's been weeks, and Mira still acts like that whenever Zoe kisses her. Loser. Well, there's a reason she had a fat crush on Milo from Atlantis. Listen, real. But Milo from Atlantis doesn't eat her pussy while she's pinned on top of the washing machine doing laundry day. So help! 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 Can I say that here? Can I say that here? Can I say that here? I had to say that real fast so that TikTok doesn't catch that. The soundproof basement coming in handy. R.I.P. all these things. It's been nice. Anyway, anyway. I thought there was no NSFW material. It's okay. It's okay. Zoe Zoe's shower is a record-breaking 7 minutes. She would have been a good candidate for one of the kids in that Holes book she read in 5th grade with their 5-minute showers. Oh my god, throwback. I remember reading that and being like, oh my god, I could never survive here. Does that mean we missed the first time Zoe gets the treatment? I guess in the laundry room, we did miss that. Anyway, with their 5-minute showers, everything she needs is already in her bag. No filled water bottles here. Derpy has been fed and played with, and Mira's wonderful toast has been lovingly consumed with the crumbs cleaned up. No rats here either. R.I.P. By the time she pops her head into her dad's room to say a quick bye and bounces out the door to Mira's car, her entire body's already vibrating. Mira checks her lip balm in the visor mirror before flicking it back up with a lazy finger. The car's already gently purring beneath them. Put on the Hannah Montana album, baby, Zoe declares. She shoves the cable into her phone so hard that she nearly misses the port the first time. I got her entire pre-Disney shot playlist ready to go. Mira rolls her eyes, but these days, never without a smile. She gently presses her foot on the gas and turns on her signal to squeeze past the cars they're sandwiched between. But then Zoe lurches forward. Wait! The seatbelt half chokes her with the abrupt stop. Zoe falls back against the seat and twists at the hip to stare at Mira accusingly. Wait. What was that, Mira? Oh, no, that's Zoe. Did you put on sunscreen? I roll number 2, but with another smile. Pretty smile. It really is a good day. It'll be a great day once they get there. Not just because she'll be in the land of dreams, but also she can finally see Rumi too. Yes, I put on sunscreen, Mira says, slightly exasperated. She even has both hands on the wheel instead of a casual finger hooked at the bottom. Good. She's learning from all of Zoe's lectures about safety. Mira's squinting at her now that they're half pulled into the street, with no car in front of them to block the sunlight. Did you bring your sunglasses? Zoe asks. Mira's silence is a deafening nope. Zoe giggles. Zoe giggles and she pulls out the sunglasses case from a compartment in her bag like a magician. Even the damn case feels like it's worth more than her house. Mira's shoulders drop in defeat. She takes them with a mumbled thanks, and Zoe's giggles get even louder as she swaps out her frames for her prescription sunglasses. Unfortunately, she still looks hot with tinted glasses. Unfortunately, because that means people will still be ogling her best friend. Still, okay. And Zoe will have to wave her lightsaber or giant backpack to get them to back off. It's a responsibility she's willing to take, though. I think it's okay. I am conflicted about her calling Mira her best friend because it's like it's cute. Don't get me wrong, it's cute as hell. But also, like, girl, y'all fucked. Not that like you can't fuck your friend, but also, girl. Anyway. Zoe tucks Mira's glasses into her backpack. She'll guard them with her life if she has to. She's tried on Mira's glasses before while Mira was in the shower and wouldn't let her watch. Mira is blind. Mira starts to pull out the driveway again. Wait! Mira stops again and whips her head over. What? Sorry, Zoe says with a sheepish smile. I always trip over my words more when it's like earlier in the day for some reason. Zoe says with a sheepish smile. She points out Mira's side window. Just saw a really cute dog. A Bernese, I think, or a black Aussie. Maybe it's my neighbors. If we see them again, do you think it would be weird if I asked Zoe? Mira says, exasperated, but with that once again stupidly gay smile fixed on her face. Your schedule? Oh, fuck! Zoe sits her ass back down and turns up her Hannah Montana music. Okay, let's get rolling. Camp Rock! Mira peers at her over her sunglasses. She lifts a perfectly hot and rich eyebrow, waits a few seconds to see if Zoe has anything else to say, then turns back to the road to finish pulling out. Zoe hates it when she pulls out. She always looks unfairly sexy doing it. Wait, didn't she already say that? Zoe slams her phone face down onto her thigh. Wait! Zoe! Mira groans. I almost honked. Sorry. Zoe unclips her seatbelt with a big apologetic grin. It's important this time. I left something at home. I thought you looked through everything before you left, Mira asks in disbelief. It wasn't on the list. What? Because I was wah. What's that wah? Zoe's mind jumbles as she fiddles with the door handle. Mira huffs out a laugh and presses a button to unlock the doors. Zoe shoves herself out of the car, then sticks her head back in to shout, Derpy took it! I'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, please. Don't go anywhere, or I'll let myself get into another car crash. Okay, BRB. She closes the car door before Mira can say anything. She sprints all the way back to the house, shouts back a quick response to her father, and swipes the all too important thingy, whatever, from her desk. Okay. She's back in Mira's car in a minute and a half, sweating but giving Mira two giant thumbs up of approval. Are you sure you have everything now? Mira asks slowly. Zoe sticks her tongue out at her. Duh! Now drive, woman! We're going to be late! That's suspicious. That's weird. Chekhov's bleep is my guess of what that thing is. Maybe I'm completely wrong. But that's suspicious. Mira looks at her, unamused. It makes her huff. Sorry, can you please drive us to the wonderful magic kingdom of dreams and fairy tales so that we may have a good day out together with your best friend and the ex that you may or may not still be in love with? For a second, Mira just stares. So Zoe tacks on, please, my beautiful angel bubble kisses whiskers. The car starts moving again. Before Zoe can smile at her in relieved thanks, Mira deadpans. We're only going so you don't call me that again. It makes Zoe laugh. It's probably one of the many good laughs she'll have today. Fine, Zoe teases. I'll make sure I won't call you that when we get there, Unnie. The car lurches and the seatbelt chokes her for half a second. She only laughs harder. She'll make up for it with some Disney mashups on the way to the House of Mouse. That should cheer her up. Unless, of course, Mira hates her and wants her to die. Maybe she's always hated her music and has been pretending this whole time, which would totally mean that she hates her. But whatever. That's future Zoe's problem. Present Zoe has hoedown throwdown to put Mira onto, no matter how many times she groans about it. Actually reminds me of something completely in a different way. Enjoy the candyfloss Chad. Back to work from. Oh my god, I'm so sorry. It's a Sunday. I also had work actually today, but it's a Sunday. I have a part-time job. Hi guys, I'm glad we all survived the hiatus. I'm sorry. The reason why I had it like on Sunday is so that like people in like Europe, like Asia time zones had like a better time to join. And also because it was a Sunday, I thought more people would be available. So you work at Starbucks. That makes sense. That makes sense. I'm sorry. I love that Rumi and Mira are in denial. It's not unchanging Polaris level, but still impressive. Sadly. What was I gonna say? Anyway, the Unnie thing. So I have a friend who lives in the Philippines, like she is Filipina, but we met here when she was like when we went to school together. We met here, but then she went back to the Philippines to Manila, and I was like talking to her, and I was like, "Oh my god, I'm gonna try and be a little cheeky," and I called her Ate. I called her Ate Julia, and she was like, "Girl, that sounded like you called me Andi." And I was like, "I'm sorry." As soon as I said it, I cringed. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Um, love you, Rachel. Sending you so much power. Sending you power. The sacred texts. Ate Julia. I'm literally gonna. I'm gonna end up like calling my Filipino coworker Ate. And like the way things are going, guys, I'm freaking out. I'm freaking out. Anyway, my work life has been so crazy lately. Anyway, next part is Mira POV. There are a lot of things that Mira wants to take to the grave with her. Liking Hoedown Throwdown is one of them. We gotta play Hoedown Throwdown at the end of the stream now. And no, Mira isn't really afraid to admit that she likes the music Zoe makes her listen to. She's complimented it more times than she can count. She'd just rather not have her girls tease her for the rest of her life for memorizing the choreography from the Hannah Montana movie when she was 8. That's very cute. Zoe's playlists always have the right energy and mood. A recent trip to Five Guys Forever linked Barbie Girl to good makeout session. A good makeout session. But maybe that's exactly what Zoe had intended. Makeout session to Barbie Girl feels crazy to me. That sounds insane vibes. Um she's okay. Zoe has great taste in music. She's a big enough girl to admit that. But even she has to wonder if she should draw the line at the Teen Beach movie. No one say anything about the Teen Beach movie soundtrack. No one say anything about the Teen Beach. Shut the fuck up right now. No one say anything bad about the Mira. Mira, I have my eyes on you. Don't you dare say anything bad about the Teen Beach movie soundtrack. Don't you fucking dare. But even she has to wonder if she should draw the line at the Teen Beach movie soundtrack. Is that even Disney? Yes. She can ask Siri because Zoe's blasting the music in her goddamn ears. It's Disney Channel. Like, it's a decom. Girl, girl, girl. I'm watching you. Mira doesn't say anything, though. During the last few months of their relationship, Mira would change the song whenever she didn't like what Rumi put on. Sometimes the whining made her grin, their laughter mixing with the fresh breeze blowing all the way back to Seoul. Other times, that tiny action was enough to send them both to bed annoyed and short with each other. So, Teen Beach movie it is. And Hannah Montana. And apparently 4 different remixes of I'll Make a Man Out of You. Zoe girl, we're like this, girl. Oh my god, Zoe, exactly. Fucking exactly. Oh my god, I love her so bad. I love her so bad. I love her so bad, girl. You are correct. She can deal with that. If you get tired of listening to I'll Make a Man Out of You, I do not trust you as a person, okay? She can deal with that. She doesn't mind it at all as long as she can see Zoe's stupidly big grin out of the corner of her eye while she belts out into the wind, or whenever Zoe tugs on her elbow and makes her yell along with her. Rumi would have had a heart attack at their complete lack of breath control. What was that stupid saying again? You don't love because you love despite, not for the virtues, but despite the faults. It's a corny line, obviously. Not like she has it noted down on the front page of a sleek notebook she bought a couple months ago. That would have been so stupid if she did that, which she hasn't. Besides, listening to Disney songs on repeat, not just in the car on the way to the Magic Kingdom, or whatever they branded themselves to be these days. But every single day for nearly a month is only as annoying as it is because it's catchy. Last night she dreamt she was at a Shakira concert as a deer, for fuck's sake. Sorry, that's so real though. My dreams have been crazy, but uh, 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 there was, oh my god, a few months ago at this point, there was a girl at my workplace who was singing that. Like just this little girl who was singing that. And I'm like, she was so cute. Uh 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 uh. Okay. I love you in despite of, not because of, is all she can think when they hit the toll booths, and Zoe jams her hands into her thighs and leans over to talk to the person inspecting the car. It's what she thinks when Zoe orders a standard $40 ticket for parking. Not private parking, not even the $60 preferred parking. To be fair, Mira already knew that they weren't going to do a Disney day out their way. The stupidly, bombastically, comically rich way, as Zoe put it. They promised to let Zoe take the reins for today. She just didn't know that parking without a valet or being dropped off near an inconspicuous entrance away from the prying eyes of the majority would feel so. God, how does she even put it without sounding like the stupidly, bombastically, somethingly rich people that Zoe was talking about? Zoe made her pose with the number painted near their parking spot to remember where we parked, duh, for one thing. A poker face and a thumbs up more than an actual pose, but it was still more effort than having an attendant memorize their number for them or just, drive her car to them for her. Why can't you just remember the number? Mira asks. She knows her tone is teetering close to a complaint, so she tries to subtly clear her throat to add, "It's a 3-digit number. That's less than a credit card CVV." Zoe shoots her a weird look. "A CVV is 3 digits, stupid," she says lightly with a quick outward jab of the tongue. Mira tilts her head. "I gave you my Amex card. Clearly you don't use it enough if you forgot it was 4. "I don't like using it," Zoe whines, but she still leans forward and wraps her arms around Mira's bicep. If Mira preens, that was nothing but the wind. "You're not my bank account. You're my Mimi baby cakes." Mira jabs her lightly in the upper rib, and Zoe giggles. Mira says, "I already told you, if you use it, you'll be helping me too. I don't use that card enough for the points, so if you use it, it's a win-win." "You would have been a really good bank teller in another life," Zoe muses. "I would have been a great one," she replies, chin high. Zoe tucks her elbow to fall in line with the modest morning crowd. Mira obediently follows. It's kind of nice being let somewhere with screaming kids and sunburned white people rather than 5 suited bodyguards and her decaying brother. Besides, that card isn't even a backup of a backup. It's just one of my spare accounts. Zoe whips her head over at her, brow knitted high. "What the hell else do you have that's higher than an Amex?" "Zoe, look," Mira says quickly, pointing into the distance. "A hidden Mickey." "What? Already?" Zoe whips her head back over. Mira presses her lips together to keep from grinning. "Where?" Mira pretends to hiss between her teeth. She shrugs and says, "My bad. Just get used to the sunglasses tint." "You suck." "I thought you liked it when." Zoe smacks her palm over Mira's mouth. A family walks past them, chattering in French, and Mira grins behind Zoe's sweaty little palm with a small laugh. On another day, she would have licked it too. Unfortunately, she promised to behave. Going through security is a snooze fest. Lots of standing, shuffling forward, stopping, standing, repeating and repeating. Mira wishes she could have at least convinced Zoe to have someone speed them through security. She could wave her hand right now and have them be done with it. "It's only a couple minutes," Zoe insists. "Like, probably 10 at most. Look, we're already close." 10 minutes they could have used at the park. Didn't Zoe have a whole itinerary timed down to the minute? Time is always so much more valuable than money. But just like she promised, Mira keeps her mouth shut. She lets the yawning security guard rummage through her small shoulder bag. She almost packed a water bottle, but Zoe had gnawed her ear off about that already. She doesn't get why. The Shanghai Disney Resort staff always lets her pass through with a slushie in her hand. The security guard does a double take when she takes off her hat and sunglasses for the face scan. When they leave, Zoe presses her cheek close to Mira's shoulder and whispers, almost darkly, Bet he thought you were hot. That's a bad thing, Mira muses. No, I just think he wasn't hot enough to think he had a chance with you, Zoe says, like it's the most obvious thing in the world. It just makes her snort. I only have eyes for two stars in the sky, she says. Jesus, why'd she say that? Mira, when she says something lover girly, whoa, what? Where did that come from? The sudden rush of the crowd moving around them cuts Zoe off before she can answer, thankfully. Turns out waiting those 10 minutes in line was well worth it. Zoe's squeal of delight when they get through to the other side is nothing short of delightful. And obviously, Mira is more than happy to take Zoe's camera with the zoom lens that she bought, Mira thinks giddily, and snap a few dozen photos of her posing by the floral Mickey. Zoe made sure to tell her not to give in to their photo pass thing. It's so much money, she complained last week. It's like Zoe always forgets who she's talking to. Maybe that's a good thing. Though the complaint is a little funny when Zoe makes a straight beeline for the Mickey ears to pick them up. There's probably better ones deeper in, Mira muses. Zoe pouts. It's a cute pout, but Mira's prepared for this moment. You never tell me no when I want to buy something, she whines. What gives? Also, that's what she said. Because I know you'll whine even more when we find nicer ears, she says flatly. She tugs on Zoe's wrist, and miraculously, Zoe lets herself be dragged away. Come on, we haven't seen 5% of the park. You make it look like you're more excited to be here than me, Zoe teases. She gasps sharply, and Mira's heart stops beating for a good half step. Wait, you're a secret Disney kid, aren't you? Squidward? Eh? You know, I'd be the last person to judge you. Fine, I'm excited to be here, Mira says offhandedly. She gives Zoe's wrist a good squeeze, and Zoe feels around until the fingers interlock. So naturally done, like they were meant to be wrapped around each other their entire lives. But not because of Goose the dog or whatever. It's because I'm coming here with you two. Aw, Mira, Zoe coos, and Mira instantly regrets the mini confession. Zoe gives her hand a hard squeeze. If I knew you were going to be such a sweetie, I would have asked you to come here sooner. I'd go anywhere you want me to be, Mira wants to say, as long as it's with you. But she's already said enough in the past 24 hours to warrant a cool down before her next cheesy confession. It's how she survives without wanting to bury herself under 6 feet of hard concrete. Zoe saves her the embarrassment of responding. She shades her eyes and squints as she surveys the open area, then asks out loud, Actually, where is Rumi? Didn't she say she was going to meet us? Yeah, Mira nods towards the road ahead. She told me she's waiting at the Rumi's uncharacteristic all caps text of "Don't tell her where I am" flicks through her mind. And she restarts. She said she might grab some food, then find us somewhere on Main Street. Good luck with that, Zoe declares. Look at how busy this place already is. She sighs in happy relief and tightens her grip on Mira's forearm. So glad that I have a sexy pink skyscraper to make sure I don't get lost. Mira elects to ignore the latter half of Zoe's remark. Well, she has a good sense of smell. She'll find us, she jokes. Oh, that was Mira. Well, she has a good sense of smell. She'll find us, she jokes. Zoe smacks her in the stomach for the offense, but she's giggling too. It doesn't take long for Zoe to forget about her roomy worries, or ruminations, as they like to say when Rumi isn't looking. Honestly, it's hard to be worried at a place like this in the first place. The music that hums around her head like invisible speakers reminds her of those old cartoons that her mother used to put on the TV while she did her hair before kindergarten. The buildings are a quarter too colorful for regular, well, buildings. Compared to Kong Industries, the paint job on every brick and tile here basically warrants her use of sunglasses. And the air has that slight tinge of sweet to it, but Zoe is quick to tell her that it's not as sweet as you, Mimi Bear. Mira rolls her eyes. She knows that Zoe knows she's smiling. She's long since given up on trying to hide it. Why hide how happy she is from the people who make her that way? Oh, that's so sweet. Mira nearly bumps straight into some tall asshole's back. She skids to a stop and snaps, "Hey, would you mind?" "Holy shit!" Zoe squeals. "Wait, sorry, sorry, holy sausage?" She already knows that Zoe's planning to talk about her meet cute with the Goofy and Pluto on stream when they get back. It would be impossible for her not to talk about it, with how much she's animatedly waving her arms around while talking and taking pictures with the dogs. They are dogs, right? While Mira stands almost awkwardly by. It's not so bad standing here, arms crossed and stationary, while Zoe hops her heels and holds hands with the maybe, probably, hopefully dog. She just hopes that Zoe will keep that kind of energy up when it gets late. But it's Zoe. It's like worrying if a lion would stop eating meat. Zoe links elbows with her after she waves goodbye to her two new friends. I'm going to make I'm going to make you take pictures with me next time, Zoe quietly whines. Mira shrugs noncommittally. I don't mind. I'm not camera shy. Zoe slams her arm and scolds. I'm not worried about you being shy, big head. I'm smiling, having fun. You're in the happiest place on earth and you look like a brooding mafia boss. I'm wearing the preppiest clothes I have, Mira argues. Hell, I look more colorful than you. Why are you wearing a sweater to the park? Because it'll get cold at night, she says, hand on the hip with a frown. Oh, Zoe, you would love my friend Mabel Pines. Then Zoe gasps and hits her arm. She probably does. Then Zoe gasps and hits her arm again. It's a miracle that Mira hasn't turned as red as a cherry with the number of times Zoe has used it like her personal stress toy. Wait, I know exactly how to fix this. She tugs Mira forward, and Mira oh so very easily obeys, even with her upper back rounded forward to accommodate Zoe's stature. Her manager would have a fit if he found out she wasn't keeping her shoulders down and back, pelvis tucked. Zoe, unsurprisingly, tugs them all the way over to the giant gift shop looming nearby. They beeline over to a row of incredibly bright pink sweaters, all with varied pictures of Mickey Mice and the gang. Mira picks up a chipmunk looking plushie and squeezes it. It's not too bad in quality. Some of the toys around them would be great gifts for her attendants' kids. Mouse ears are shoved onto her head. Mira hardly reacts, other than adjusting them to fit better. Too tacky, do you think? Zoe muses, rubbing her non existent chin beard with two fingers. We're in a gift shop in Disneyland, Mira reminds her. There's nothing here that isn't tacky. Yeah, but is it like good tacky? A neutral tacky? An Ohio tacky? What? Ooh, those are cute! Zoe gushes, taking her hand and yanking her along to pull at more sweaters. Just like the others, and all the clothes she can see the rest of the room, they're bright, colorful, and utterly Zoe. Thank fuck she brought her cards with her. They stick to each other, shoulder to shoulder, while they peruse the mugs and keychains and everything in between. There are baby pinks, blues, and purples all over the store and outside from what she's seen. Something about an important milestone in their history and how the gentle colors were the perfect representation of pride and love. Well, yeah, that's the I can't get over the fact that they have bisexual flag colors. Roomy sandwich. The original roomy sandwich to accommodate her size. Uh-huh. Mm. Honestly, the color scheme saved her the trouble of calling the company to ask if they could plant some of Rumi and Zoe's favorite flowers in the nearby garden. This will do for the right atmosphere. Zoe gets a first visit badge from an employee. She makes Mira get one too, even though technically she's been here as a kid a bunch of times for PR photo shoots mainly. As a kid? PR, oh geez. First time you are here with me, points out. Zoe points out, jabbing her stomach. And Rumi. It makes perfect sense to her. With fancy matching buttons pinned to their chests, with another one in Zoe's hand that she got for Rumi, even though they both know it isn't technically Rumi's first time here either. They continue to peruse the shop stock. Nothing really catches Mira's eye, but she can tell that Zoe's twinkling eyes can't stop absorbing everything around her. It's cute, or whatever. What do you think? Zoe declares. She swaps between two different shirts in quick succession. Shirt one or shirt two? Two or one? Mira glances over Zoe's head. She can feel a smile twitch onto her lips before she can press it all the way down. At least the heartbeats aren't hard to hide, even the thumping, stupidly erratic kind. Not shirt three? She asks, voice neutral. Zoe's face scrunches together. What's shirt three? She asks, whipping around to look at the shirt rack. Do you mean this? Oh, or this one. I know you said you don't want to match, but these I'm his Minnie and I'm her Mickey ones look super cute. Wait, fuck, it's straight and pass on the she's beauty and he's beast ones. Like, talk about casual massage. The gasp that rips from Zoe's throat makes her heart rate jump. It's not the surprise that she had hoped Zoe would see, but anything that makes Zoe happy makes her happy. Zoe shoves two shirts into her arms and jolts forward to grip the chest area of the bright pink hoodie. Oh, look at this! She coos. It's almost the same shade as your hair. Mira doesn't know why she takes so much offense to it. No, that's a lie. She does. She exhales through her nose like a disgruntled bull and grumbles, There's no fuck. A kid runs past her at the corner of her eye. Mickin' way that a washed up corporation with a mouse for a mascot can get my exact shade, Zoe. I had a whole make sure it was the right shade for me. And what? They crushed up diamonds and saffron in a bowl while they mixed your hair dye? Zoe teases, her hand still on the hoodie. Mira dares not prove her point. That familiar scent of pink peppers wafts into her nose, subtle enough that it barely cuts through the sweet scent of caramel and that factory fresh smell on every hoodie, familiar enough that she can pinpoint where the top note of spice ends and the heart of lived in warmth begins. It's easy to recognize. She's worn that same stupid perfume for more of her life than she hasn't. It's just a little weird to smell it on someone else. She makes a mental note to talk to Rumi when they get home about raiding her closet without telling her. What if she runs out of sweaters for a midnight ice cream run? Again. Again. If you don't like the hoodie, we can get those, Zoe says happily. Unperturbed by Mira's grumbling, she points at the hoodies above them, and even Mira has to crane her neck to look. Mickey, Donald, and Goofy. Classic. Zoe sighs and puts her hands on her hips. She sniffs the air, one side of her nose twitching like a rodent's after a good dig. Mira doesn't have to guess why because Zoe mildly adds, a touch shy. I keep forgetting how good you smell. You're making me crave you more than the popcorn down the street. Mira lets out a breathless laugh. Yeah, baby, she teases. Then Zoe ducks her head, points back to the shirts, and blabbers, I don't mind being any of the guys. I mean, I guess Donald is my Disney alt bias. Zoe. Mira chides with another breathless laugh. Well, closer to a giggle if she's being honest. Because I perfected his voice in middle school, but I like all of them. You could be Goofy, he's kind of tall like you, and goofy for realsies. Or you could be Donald. He's temperamental, but he gets so shy when he's with. Rumi puts her delicate hands over Zoe's eyes. She's standing right behind her, with the gold from her hand glinting in the morning light reflected through a window. Mira folds the shirts haphazardly tossed into her hands while she watches the spectacle in front of her. She'd bet half her portfolio that not a single show today would top this. Do you want to guess who it is? Rumi asks mildly. Her voice is raspy. It reminds Mira of the stupid boys who try to flirt with Zoe in front of her whenever they play stupid team shooter games together. Unlike those boys, she'll let Rumi's cyber footprint continue to exist. Zoe doesn't take long to smile. It's almost instant, the way she smiles. Her slow smiles only happen late at night when she's tired or sappy and has just finished saying something like, "A billion people, and I still think you're the best friend someone could ever ask for," in her dark bedroom. Otherwise, it's exactly like this: instant, wide, and radiant. To someone like Zoe, there's no such thing as rationing a smile or a laugh. It makes Zoe richer than her and Rumi in every aspect that matters. God, you need to apply to be a Disney mascot someday, Zoe teases, giggling under her breath. She hooks her short fingers around Rumi's wrist to tuck her hands downwards. Maybe Darth Vader? Well, I think they use pre-recorded voice lines for him, but I would pay so much money to watch you. Oh my god! Despite the fact that one, Mira had known about Rumi's plan beforehand, and two, had spent the last 10 minutes mentally and physically preparing herself for Zoe's reaction, Mira flinches. A few surprised or disgruntled shoppers turn to look at them. Mira makes sure to glare at the ones who stare a millisecond too long. By the time her eyes slide back over to Zoe and Rumi, Zoe already has both her hands squished against Rumi's face. Oh my god. Zoe already has both her hands squished against Rumi's face. Even through the bulldog wrinkles, Mira can make out the grin plastered on her face like shit on a monkey's wall. Rumi, what the frick? Zoe whisper shouts. Mira watched her hum a mantra of, "I will not accidentally say the F word to a child at Disneyland," all week. She's glad to see it hasn't been in vain. When did you get this? Is that permanent? Rumi chuckles. This morning before I left, she says happily, voice muffled through Zoe's insistent face squishing. It makes her words sound more like this morning before I left. This morning before I left. She doesn't bother to bat Zoe away though. And technically not. It grows. Mira snorts. Zoe shoots her a mild warning look, and Mira clamps up. What for? Zoe cries out. She's pushing Rumi towards the corner of the aisle to stop her from being seen by the people in the gift shop. A little too late, considering half the shop turned to look after her blood curdling scream, but neither Rumi nor Mira can bring themselves to care. Is your company forcing you? Is this a new era concept? Did you get scalp rot or something? No, Rumi says with a gleeful laugh. Stop looking at my teeth. You're acting like I grew demon horns. Zoe whines. Sorry, that was Zoe. Stop looking at my teeth. You're acting like I drew demon horns. Zoe whines but obliges. Oh, what? I'm so confused. No, 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 no. Oh, that was Rumi. I am so confused. Sorry. Stop looking at my teeth. You're acting like I drew demon horns. Zoe whines but obliges. Celine tries to talk me out of it. Mira did the opposite. Rumi throws a look over Zoe's shoulder, and Mira puts her hands up in frustration. You asked me if I thought it'll look good, and I said yes. It's not like I strapped you down to a chair. Rumi and Zoe share a look. Did you just call it hot too? Or Zoe begins. Wanna tell Zoo you cut it today? Mira interrupts. Is Rumi haircut gonna be like canon across like fanon, I guess, across all these fanfics? Rumi shrugs. Zoe squishes her cheeks one last time, and Rumi closes her eyes with that awfully gleeful, prideful smile as she explains. I thought it would be more fun to go on a Disney date with the two of you if we weren't constantly looking over our shoulders. What do you think? She touches a piece of her hair, choppy, but in that controlled kind of way, sitting on her shoulder. If you walk down Main Street, do you think you'd think Ryurumi at first glance or no? I walked over here with my hoodie up just in case because I wasn't sure, but I think so. Mira said, wow, way to fish for compliments, Goguma. At the same time, Zoe blurts out, if we weren't in a family friendly establishment, I would have jumped you right here against the merchandise. They're so crazy. Oh my God. Neither of them really answered her question, but they were answers. Mira elbows her hard in the ribs, but it only sets off Zoe's giggles. Wait, I can show my haircut. I cut my hair myself, though. I don't do rich girl haircuts. It has layers. I don't know. I need to. Oh, it like mirrors it, and I can't. Okay. I'm gonna share my screen this time. I'm not gonna forget, okay? I'm not. It was technically Friday? Oh my god. Well, happy belated. Happy belated. Yay. Okay. You also get some air. Okay. Um Neither of them really answered her question, but they were answers. Mira elbows her hard in the ribs, but it only sets off Zoe's giggles. It almost does it for her too. Rumi's trying really hard not to smile at Zoe. At the two of them, Mira realizes. Her eyes never stop flicking back and forth. Shit. Never stop flicking back and forth. It makes her stomach feel like the spice in her perfume bottle. Zoe squishes her body against Rumi's side and uses her knuckles to play with Rumi's bangs. It's only because of years of forcing herself to keep her aggressive emotions in check via breathing techniques when her brother's being dumb in a meeting room that Mira doesn't run her fingers through Rumi's soft looking curls and kiss her senseless in a, what did Zoe call it? Family friendly, whatever. But Zoe doesn't possess the grand scale of patience that she has, apparently, because she peppers a bunch of kisses up and down the corner of Rumi's jaw. Quietly and playfully, sure, not in the way she would in the middle of the night when her father was dead asleep. But Zoe's kisses were Zoe's kisses. Mira's kind of thankful for that. Something about Rumi's giggles, even standing from here, makes being Rumi's secret keeper so worth it. But Mira has to break them up eventually. She knows how important this day is to Zoe, even if she doesn't understand it herself. Getting kicked out right as the park opens definitely isn't on Zoe's bucket list. She clears her throat and flatly reminds them, we have like 50 more rides to hit today, right? Oh! Zoe unsticks herself from the side of Rumi's face. Rumi blinks slowly, too dazed by Zoe's barrage of approving kisses, and Mira presses her lips together. Sorry, you have to save the best rides for last anyway. Rumi frowns. Save the what? Mira arches an eyebrow. Rides, plural? Zoe ignores them and sticks out her tongue between her lips as she stares at the Mickey, Donald, and Goofy shirts. Great place to be having this conversation right now. I mean, I can't say anything. Oh my god, Lauren. Oh my god, Lauren, what the hell? Girl, what the hell? Girl, what the hell, girl? It's your birthday. I was like, you sent me what? Oh Lord, thank you. Oh my god. Oh, oh my god, thank you. Help! I did not see that. Oh, happy birthday, Diva. Also, oh my god, I hope your Korea trip was so fun, girl. I like kind of followed it, but I've been like very on and off just all my apps. So, yeah. Um okay. She puts her hand on a lower shelf and pushes herself up to grab the shirts. Mira and Rumi silently flail and panic, but Zoe jumps back down with a satisfying thud of her shoes a second later, three shirts in her hands. I'm gonna go pay for these really quick. You two take a look-see around and let me know if there's anything I can get for you get you after, Zoe says happily. Zumi, I could. Sweetie, I brought my. It takes one look from Zoe's unamused face for them to shut up. Red promised to let her pay for things today. An odd request, but whatever, sure. Whatever it takes to make Zoe happy and not want to kill them. Her harrowed stare whenever they say something accidentally out of touch in her eyes. Zoe perks up a second later and she jumps up to peck a kiss on Mira's upper lip for being so damn cheeky before running off to find a cashier. If it were physically possible to lower her hat more, she would have by now. Alas, physics doesn't care about her net worth. Rumi's arms are already folded, with that half smile on her face, when Mira finally looks up. She subtly clears her throat and says, "Don't look at me like that." I'm not looking at you like anything, Rumi jokes. You're the one who keeps looking at me like that. I'm not looking at you like anything, Mira says, exasperated. And just like nearly every conversation between them over the last few months, there is no bite, no show of claws. And recently, it's been more like licking each other's wounds. Maybe Rumi notices it too, because her shoulders begin to untense. She touches her hair again. Mira can tell she's not used to having something about herself be so vastly different. It's the only reason she doesn't open her mouth to make fun of her again. Are you sure you like it? Rumi says, her voice a little quiet. Her eyes pull up to try and catch a glimpse of her bangs. You don't think it's too, I don't know, different? Different can be good, Mira reminds her gently. She mirrors Rumi's folded arms, which is funny because it's usually Rumi who copies her closed off body language. And if you're worried, it's not that different. It's not like you cut off all your hair and change your music to rock. You cut off a good few inches for the summer. Anyone would. Rumi giggles. She twirls her finger around a strand of hair. Mira can't look away. Do you think it's a good look for me? She asks again. Now that you know what it looks like, do you think I should have kept the braid? Since when did you need my approval for anything? It's half a joke. The other half is mildly perturbed. She's never been one to make decisions for anyone but herself. I don't, Rumi says quickly. The alacrity makes Mira raise her brows. It's the first time Rumi has defended herself in a way that makes Mira think she actually believes it. I just like you think now, too. You and Zoe. Mira lets that settle in the air. The jaunty carnival music playing around the park doesn't help her process it all too well, but she makes it through. She finally says, her voice even, "You never used to like hearing what I had to say." Different can be good, Rumi echoes, a smirk on her face. The smile that forms on Mira's face is equal parts sardonic and proud. It's pretty, Mira promises, her voice quiet. She wonders if Rumi can even hear her through the park chatter. I always thought shorter layers like that would look pretty on you. Rumi tilts her head. Why didn't you tell me? She asks curiously. I'm telling you now. That's always been the only thing that mattered. Rumi lets out a short laugh, and she adds, quieter than Mira's little confession, I got them through the gates, by the way. Mira's eyebrows jump up in surprise. She'd been so preoccupied with Rumi's new haircut, her first new one in probably what, 20 years? Sue her for being surprised, that she forgot to touch base on that entirely. How'd you do it? Mira asks, slightly in awe. Oh, I just passed through the gate. They didn't look in my bag like Zoe kept saying, Rumi says with a mild shrug. Why? Did they actually look in yours? Apparently, they have to for every guest. I swear to fuck, I was in that line for hours, Mira says, her touch of awe twisting into frustration. You can't even bring your own water here. What? Rumi looks baffled. Why? What if you get thirsty? I guess you can still drink at the park, Mira muses. It's only like, what, $10 for a water bottle? It's a standard business model. I actually hate I hate Disney for this so bad. Like it's stupid. It's so bad. That's not too bad, Rumi says with a quick nod. They need to die. They need to die. Anyway, then she snorts and Mira narrows. Sorry, TikTok is literally gonna restrict me for saying that. Anyway, Rumi says with a quick nod. Then she snorts and Mira narrows her eyes at her. I can't believe you actually stood in line. Oh, sorry. I can't believe you actually stood in line with Zoe for security. Your dad's gonna. Mira opens her mouth to retort, but she can see Zoe's bright smile and glittery bag full of shirts and who knows what else coming their way. Rumi's still stifling her giggles next to her, and Mira elbows her hard in the side. Look, you do crazy things for love, too, she hisses under her breath. You already have. Why do you think we're both here and not sitting in New Orleans Square? Now start smile. Hey, Zoomster, ready to go? If you guys are, Zoe says happily. She holds up the bag in her hand like a caught fish. Got us some jelly beans, too, for the road. Found anything fun? Not yet, honey, Rumi replies. The use of yet makes Zoe perk up, and Mira shoots Rumi a sidelong glance in approval. So, lead the way? Zoe hooks her bag on her elbow and yanks them both forward. Not a chance in hell Mira would let anyone else walk her around like that. But crazy things for love, like wrapping her fingers around Rumi's wrists when they snake through a crowd that looks past Rumi for once to make sure none of them get left behind. Crazy things, like glancing left and right, smirking when Rumi's newest disguise really does work, and pressing the swiftest kiss to the inside of that wrist before cutting her hand to join their smiley Zoe. Not to toot her own therapy progress horn, but she bets Rumi has never done something as crazy as that. Ah, they're so cute. I love them so much. I love them so much. Chat, I love them. Chat, I love them. Need to go on. Oh my god, bye, Azura. Oh my god. Still have exam. Yeah, girl, I know how late it is over there. Good night. GDC was already chapter 29. Heck, I last left at chapter 12. I need to catch up. Hey, you two should kiss Zoe 2026. Literally. Tell her she looks good. Tell her she's doing a good job. No, they're too freaking cute. It's adorbs. Oh my god. I think the reason Rumi haircut is fanon is because hair carries memories. I mean, it's good. It's a good trope. Listen, one thing about tropes, one thing about me and tropes is that I love them. I love them so bad. I love them so bad. Anyways, I was gonna say that I really should not be the one speaking about like them speaking about this and freaking Disney of all places, because God knows the shit I speak about and like my coworkers speak about at work. We go crazy. We're actors. Literally, that's the reason why we're actors. We have no barrier at all. We have no limits to what we can discuss. We're talking at work, being like, the first time I saw a hot dog, because we have code words, because we literally work around children. Like, we are committing crimes. We're committing crimes. Work crimes, but not. Who needs a filter? That's the word I was looking for. I love forgetting like simple words. It's my favorite thing to do. Who needs a filter? It's more fun to be just pure cat. It is, but then you run into weird situations where you start flirting with your coworker for jokes, and then your coworker is like keeps flirting with you, and you're like, what's happening here? What's happening here? Anyway, let's go back to this. It's Rumi POV. Woo! Of course, Rumi's having fun at Disney World Land and making sure she isn't making the same stupid mistakes. Why else would she have chopped her hair off and given her hairstylist a heart attack? She's here to have fun and let loose with the most beautiful girls in the world. She meant what she said last week when Mira had asked about it. No, she doesn't have a stick up her ass. She even considered asking her doctor for a lorazepam today. But she knows Mira thinks that she does. She has that smirk plastered all over her face whenever Rumi glances over to look at her. It's the same smirk she wears whenever she thinks she knows what Rumi's thinking. Rumi keeps having to pinch her side or roll her eyes whenever she sees Mira staring at her as they walk down Main Street. No, it's not a competition. Sometimes it's really hard to remember that, though. Not for any bad reasons, at least not anymore nowadays. It's more like holding soda cans over each other's heads. Still kind of annoying when she's the one having to jump for it. But it's hard to think about soda when the street smells like sun and vanilla, cotton candy. Is that caramel popcorn? It reminds her a little bit of Zoe, pleasantly sweet, but never overtly so, just enough for her to crave more. From the look on Mira's face out of the corner of her eye, with the way she sniffs the air and wrinkles one side of her nose in a weaker mimicry of her family sneers, and how she glances over to Zoe every so often as they weave through the crowd, Rumi can surmise that she's thinking the same thing. They're not always on the same page, but Zoe's always the exception. Oh, Zoe, gay sirens, gay sirens. They heard them being gay. Oh, Zoe chirps, whipping her head over her shoulder to look at them, so starry eyed. Look, let's watch. She tugs them both by the wrists, jumping up and down until Rumi can hear the clink of something on her person. The 31 pins on her mini backpack, probably, or 32. She just caught a glimpse of the new one. It's a miracle none of them have been ripped off her backpack yet. Maybe Zoe gorilla glued them like she did with the lamp on her desk. Rumi remembers helping out with that. Past Rumi would have never said yes to super gluing a lamp to a desk. Celebrate the small victories, her therapist always tells her. So Rumi picks up her chin to herself as she's happily dragged away by one of the most beautiful girls she knows. She honestly has no idea what had caught Zoe's eye until she hears faint ragtime music cutting between the chatter and stomps of other parkgoers. The crisp plinking of the piano sounds appealing to her ears. Even in this kind of music isn't a genre she's used to. Even if this kind of music isn't a genre she's used to. It reminds her of watching old cartoons with her papa on Jeju-do. The smell of popcorn in the air doesn't help either. Rumi feels Mira tap the back of her hand in time to do the energetic swing of the piano they've just arrived at. Zoe turns on her heel to beam wide at them both, and the bittersweet memories that would have drowned her never comes. The loose semicircle of a crowd around the piano player with his polished white piano pushed up against the restaurant with the same candy cane theme doesn't seem to be paying him much mind. Most stay stuck on their phones, finding shelter beneath the awning shade around, though Oh my God. Finding shelter beneath the awning shade, though a handful have turned to watch, some eating at the tables and others gently rocking strollers to the animated beat. Rumi notes the distinct lack of phones pointed at the piano. Maybe it's too early in the morning for people to pull out their phones, or they've just caught the pianist at the best of times. Either way, it's fascinating. She doesn't remember a single day in her life without someone watching her through the eye of a lens. Is it wrong for her to be a little jealous? Would that be the right word? She feels Zoe squish in by her side when the melody transitions. Oh, I know that one, she whispers close to Rumi's shoulder. Rumi can feel her hopping up and down on the balls of her feet as she hums. Mira snickers by Zoe's other shoulder. She straightens up to make eye contact with Rumi over Zoe's head. Yo, Rumi. Wait, yeah. Yo, Rumi. Stop it! Zoe whines. The twitching smile on her face only emboldens the teasing. Mira grins. When we were watching Mulan, we got to this song. Stop! She said smash to dude Shang, but I didn't have my glasses on, so I thought she was talking about Mushu. That gets a small barking laugh out of Rumi's throat. She clamps her mouth shut when she realizes that it cut above the piano, but no one's paying attention to them. For the first time in her life, she can let her walls down, at least by a few bricks. Rumi teases, Sweetie, I didn't know you had a type. Hey! Zoe gently smacks her arm, and Rumi laughs just as happily as Mira. I can't believe she played you like that. Why aren't we making fun of her? She's the one who wasn't wearing any glasses and thought weren't you looking on that one website? Rumi asks. When Zoe cocks her head in confusion, Rumi clarifies, for toys. She lowers her voice just in case. She doesn't want to get them thrown out of the park in less than half an hour. Wasn't it called something like bad drag? That was a joke! Zoe shouts, eyes wide and mortified. Chat made me do it. Chat made me do it. Chat made me do it, Mira mocks in Zoe's higher pitch. They did! Rumi laughs. The pianist finishes the song, and scattered hooting and clapping mask her jocund scolding of, stop teasing her, she paid for our tickets. Yeah, Zoe boasts. And I'm paying for our food and stuff. You never bite the hand of the thing. A kid runs past them. Feeds you. Rumi giggles quietly, and Mira clicks her tongue in disappointment. Crossing her arms and keeping her eyes steady on the pianist's fingers flying across the keys, she grumbles under her breath. If you change your mind, you know. Oh, sorry, that's Mira. If you change your mind, you know Rumi and I can still. Rumi shakes her head as fast as she can and widens her eyes. Mira closes her mouth. Her shoulders drop, and she looks so much like the kid pouting adjacent to the piano that Rumi has to look away to keep from laughing. A teen crouches by the pianist and whispers something to him. The pianist laughs and nods, plays a few notes, and the teen brightens before he's pulled back by his shirt by a laughing friend. Rumi hadn't recognized the first few notes. Music only comes easily to her after 30 dozen repetitions in the studio. It means that any song she listened to on the plane between tour dates isn't exactly her strong suit. But it comes to her soon enough. Just a few bars of music, and all she can think about are the promises to see Yipeng Lantern Festival that she and Mira made to each other a few years ago after watching this movie. How they forgot, how they fought, staring at the texts until they burned into their retinas as their body forced her to sleep. And they talked about it last week with whispers on pushed together futons, too uncomfortable on her tailbone and hands intertwined in the dark. It was hard to argue about it this time around when they couldn't stop being excited at the prospect of having Zoe come along with them. Or maybe Zoe would scold them to hell and back for polluting the ocean with paper lanterns, and they'd happily take her to Baisha Bay instead. Anywhere, as long as it was together. The teenager who had requested the song drops his chin on top of his friend's head. She and they swayed side to side in the way only people in love with each other would. Rumi can imagine Zoe and Mira being them so vividly that she feels a mild ache in her chest. Not jealousy. She knows jealousy well enough to know what it tastes like, a burn in her throat, as mordant as a desperate shot ordered at midnight. This ache has the aftertaste of caramel popcorn. Rumi feels a gentle tug on her belt loop. She chuckles and placates Zoe by pulling her in close to her side. Wrong reading of the room, unfortunately. Not that it matters much. Zoe only giggles into her shoulder, then bats her upper arm and murmurs, "Not that we have to if you guys want to stay and keep listening, but it's almost 8 o'clock and we have an entire. We can go," Rumi volunteers. "Of course we can go, baby." "Whatever you want, Yaruhi." Mira lazily adds. Oh my god, leaning her head to the side to cue them to slip away. I need to send that to my roommate. Oh my god. Oh, cries and cries and cries. Wait, I'm literally gonna like take a screenshot of that right now. Oh my god. Very, very cute. Very cute. I'm gonna turn on my ventilator. Okay. I just need to have some air. It's so hot in here. Yaruhi. Oh. Rumi snorts under her breath as they sneak away. The sharp look Mira gives her just makes her want to laugh even harder. She couldn't tell what was funnier, the thought of Mira saying it to one up her baby or because Mira was just Mira. Yeah. Rumi giggles. "Zoom!" Mira barks out, a touch louder than she has to. "Where are we going next? Tomorrowland?" "Quick stop first." Zoe sticks out her tongue while she jabs her thumb around on her phone. "She's doing meet and greets right now and doesn't come back until after lunch." "Who?" Mira asks suspiciously. Zoe nudges Mira's hip with an elbow. She giggles and asks, "Since when were you the possessive type?" Rumi jokes, "Probably ever since they gave her a baby bottle filled with molten gold." Zoe snickers and Mira snaps. "Weren't you bragging about being spoon-fed hanwoo porridge as a kid the other day?" "What?" Zoe whips her head over to Rumi. "I thought you said it was just sogoki-juk." "Well, it wasn't like." Rumi racks her brain. She points accusingly at Mira as they turn the corner and give a quick wave to the mailman, or paper boy, or mayor, as he cycles past. "Well, her nanny used to mix Gerber carrots? Gerber? Guys, I'm not rich. I don't know what this means. Gerber carrots with risotto." Mira wrinkles her nose and turns up her chin in disgust. The expression almost makes her look like her brother in a way, if her brother were as adorably faux mean as she is. "No, that's just offensive," Mira says flatly. "It's just pureed vegetables. If someone has enough money to buy fucking gerb, then just buy vegetables and puree them. Risotto isn't even that hard to make." Zoe whines. "I can't even keep track of who's winning because this conversation is out of my tax bracket." That's a good line. That's a good line. Rumi shoots her an apologetic smile. "Sorry, honey." "I'm so sorry, my sugar honey." Mira mocks. "If neither of you can behave in front of the pretty fairies, I'm kicking all of us out," Zoe lightly warns, ushering them past an entrance sign by some bushes. "Geez, and here I thought I didn't need to rent baby strollers today." Mira's eyebrows jump up in surprise. "Fairies?" At the same time, Rumi asks, mildly offended, "Pretty?" Zoe just rolls her eyes at them, drawls out, "Okay, wrap it up," and makes them post a few photos along the path. Zoe's fairy in question is Tinkerbell. Rumi's seen a few of the movies on the plane, and it's impossible to forget such a great part of one of her favorite childhood classics. They take a few photos with Tinkerbell, and Zoe strikes up a small conversation about lost things. They wave goodbye, and Tinkerbell calls after them. I hope you find. Wait, what's Tinkerbell is voiced by Mae Whitman. So I hope I hope you find cool lost things today. I don't know. I can't do a Mae Whitman. Mae Whitman has a very specific voice. Anyway, I hope you find cool lost things today. Mira glances down at her jeans, and Rumi palms her pocket to feel for it. Their shoulders drop at the same time. It's not the most secure place in the world to keep it, but Zoe likes to go through their bags to dig out baby wipes or a water bottle. She doesn't put her hands into their pockets unless it's for not theme park activities. Mira leans close to whisper, "Aren't you glad I talked you out of a pixie cut like that?" Rumi elbows her side, but she's laughing. "You didn't talk me out of it." "Oh, so you just wanted my opinion," Mira teases, flicking a shorter strand of hair by her forehead. "To make sure I liked it?" "Oh, sure, make it about you." A bright flash of white startles them both. Rumi hard to get rid of the bright after images in her eyes. "Oops, sorry." Zoe holds up her camera and smiles sheepishly. "Forgot to turn off the flash." Zoe just himajoshiing out like, "Just don't mind me, don't mind me." Didn't the original Tinkerbell pass away? I actually don't know. I don't know. Gerber is just baby food. I don't know baby food brands. I grew up not in this country. I grew up not in this country, so this is Gimme That Candy Floss, chapter 29. Okay. Mira's rubbing at an eye, disgruntled. "Why'd you? Because you two look so gay," she gushes. "We don't," Rumi argues, but Zoe shuts her up by pointing at the small lagoon next to them. The sun casts a small rainbow in the mist, and Rumi grumpily keeps her mouth. It's straight to Tomorrowland after that. She knows they're going to Tomorrowland because Zoe and Mira have taken to hooking elbows and chanting, to the future," over and over. Rumi's forced to join in when they grab her by the collar and force her between them as the great big Tomorrowland sign starts to loom overhead. It's been a while since Rumi's been here. She came here with Chinu once during one of their earlier dates, and nothing's really changed from what she can tell. Not that that's a bad thing. Sometimes a little sameness can be reassuring. And the concept of retrofuturism is mildly comforting. The tech, rockets, smell of spun sugar with a hint of gasoline, and the transition from honky tonk piano to brassy synthesizers make her lean down to inform Zoe and Mira that Tomorrowland was built pre moon landing and that this was just what everyone thought the vast tomorrow would look like. It was the spiel that her expensive Disneyland private tour guides gave her a while back. Tomorrow can be so different from what people expect, but it can be just as pretty. Rumi doesn't tell them that last bit. She is far too distracted by Mira's even sweeter perfume and the way Zoe keeps stopping them to take eager videos of their surroundings. Zoe drags them all the way over to Space Mountain once she gets a photo of the three of them by a giant rocket. Rumi's never been on this one in particular. Yeah, Rumi's never been on this one in particular, only because Jinu was too scared to go on it. But she lies when Zoe asks and tells them that it was under repair the last time she was there. Making fun of Jinu is only fun when he's there to fail spectacularly at defending himself. Zoe's still successfully dragging them by the wrists halfway into the building until they both stop at the same time to gawk right above them at the giant red arrow. "The wait's 20 minutes?" Mira asks in disbelief. "How could they let it get that bad?" Rumi adds, slightly horrified. Or wholly, now that it just updated in before her eyes and was now 25. Zoe glances between them in confusion. 25 minutes is nothing. Are you kidding? The app told me it was 45. That's nearly an hour, Rumi says, still horrified. Oh, just wait until we get to Radiator Springs Racers, Zoe says offhandedly. Why do you think we started here and not there? I wasn't gonna make two rich princesses run across the park doing rope drop. Prince? Mira starts, offended, yet from what Rumi can tell, slightly preening. Please, Zoe whines. Half an hour will fly by so quick, I promise. Zoe, we don't even have the fast pass, Rumi complains. For a lack of trying, anyway. She and Mira spent 2 weeks trying to convince her to let them pay for the fast passes, and they almost got away with it too. If Disney hadn't publicly posted the lightning lane prices online and made Zoe turn so white that her dad told her to eat some soup. They honestly should have just rented out the park for the day and told Zoe that it was closed for maintenance and they just so happened to be able to swing by. The line for Space Mountain is long, ridiculously long, stupidly long. I mean, it's Space Mountain, so long that by the time they start to see the coaster seats just below, Rumi and Mira are slumped against the railings and groaning louder than the kids behind them. Not even an 8-hour dance practice makes her feet ache this badly. Zoe, Rumi whines, how long until we get up there? I thought the wait time was just 20 minutes, Mira whines too. It feels like it's been an hour. God, you two are so whiny, Zoe says, kicking them both on the shins to force them to get up. She checks, letting the glow of her lock screen illuminate the twitching smile that makes its way on her face. You know, it's only been like 11 minutes, right? What? Mira straightens up and peers down at her phone. You're shitting me. Nuh-uh. Zoe turns her phone so that Mira can see. Rumi doesn't even bother. She just thunks her head on the railing, uncaring about the germs or otherwise. That's how she knows she needs to wave the white flag of defeat. And FYI, we're almost there. Mean it is time. It's still early in the morning. Rumi props her cheek on her hand. They let you buy those passes even after you enter the park, right? They do, Mira says casually, leaning back against the railing next to her. Crossing her arms, she adds, that expensive. I don't get why everyone doesn't just get fast passes before they go to the park. It saves you so much time. Rumi bobs her head in agreement. The person in front of them looks back over his shoulder to eye them both suspiciously before turning back around to tend to his fussy preteen. Rumi wonders if it's because she's been recognized, but the lights here are too dark and neon-y for even Mira's blazing pink hair to be recognizable. So, what was that look for? Aren't Americans all about freedom? They're so annoying. We'll have another debrief privilege later tonight, Zoe says casually. She pockets her phone again. But I mean, I did say we could get Lightning Lane, but only if you paid for it. Mira says it with so much disdain that Rumi cracks a smile. What kind of logic is that? Why would you think that was a good plan? Because I asked the both of you to come here with me, Zoe says, slightly offended. My date, my treat, and all that? Rumi ignores her wording for the sake of her heart. Yeah, but you already paid for our park tickets, she points out. And you're paying for lunch, Mira continues disdainfully. Yeah. Zoe walks backwards by another foot or so as the line moves forward. So, what's the issue with one more? Rumi and Mira give each other a sideways glance. It's always been easy to read each other. Well, it's easy to read each other now that they can actually keep eye contact. It's easy to know that they're both wondering how to better phrase, maybe because you're broke. Mira settles on. Mira settles on because we love you and want you to not stand in line for an hour. Aw, you're so sweet, Zoe coos, putting her hand on Mira's bicep. Mira visibly stiffens, probably to flex her arm, and Rumi rolls her eyes. Too bad it won't change my mind. Want to play Wordle on my phone together while we wait? It takes another 15 minutes for them to finally line up in front of the coasters. They should have played Wavelength. My friends and I played Wavelength while waiting waiting on the cat's rush line. It was the best rush experience I've ever had. It was so fun. I love my friends. I love friendship. Anyway, it takes another 15 minutes for them to finally line up in front of the coasters. Rumi counts the people getting off the tracks, two side by side. She turns to them and declares, I can sit in the back while you two. Zoe grabs her by the collar as soon as the gates open. Rumi's unceremoniously tossed into a cart, and Mira is shoved right. Zoe is like, now kiss. Mira's clumsy feet nearly have her tumbling right into Rumi's lap. She's fast enough to play it off, but Rumi nearly chomps down on a section of her mussed up hair in the process. Not that Rumi minds. Her hair still smells of her expensively sweet shampoo and the spice of peppers. She missed breathing that in. What would it taste like if she actually did accidentally what? Oh my god. Zoe sits down right behind them, smiling so happily that the corners of her eyes crinkle. See, now I get to ride Space Mountain for the first time while having my two favorite rides right in front of me, Zoe chirps. A win-win for everyone. In Rumi's personal opinion, finding Nemo's submarine voyage is a lot more fun than Space Mountain. Slower and less visually stimulating, and with a lot less screaming, sure. But she'd rather be here than back on the mountain that nearly gave her whiplash. It's sweet seeing Zoe look so focused on the animatronics and what the voiceovers have to say about the artificial coral reef. Rumi would have bought 1,000 theme parks to watch the wrinkle of her brow and the way her finger rests and taps against her collarbone as she watches. Rumi accidentally catches Mira's eye from Zoe's other side. Mira used to look at her like that, with that slight softening of her jaw and how big her eyes get, like she's trying to see and memorize everything in front of her. She used to look at her like that. She still looks at her like that, Rumi notices. Nothing on her face changes when Mira glances up to give her a weak, slightly embarrassed smile. She still looks at her like that, and Rumi wonders how often grown adults cry in a fake submarine in a theme park. She might be the first. We should try It's a Small World, Rumi comments as they squeeze out of the submarine. It has nice air conditioning. God, please no, Mira groans. I had that stupid song stuck in my head the last time I went there. Torturing Mira with the earwormy songs is exactly why Rumi had tested it. The little giggle that Zoe lets out probably means that she thought the same thing. Between her laughs, Zoe says, I mean, I'd be down. Maybe after Matterhorn. I'm just worried that I'll shift our or whole sketch around because it'll set us back half an hour or more. Mira grumbles, since someone doesn't want to get the fast passes. Zoe sticks her tongue out at her. For once, Rumi feels like defending Mira on this. But since today is Zoe's planned day out, and who knows, maybe she'll bump them down even worse queue to wait an even longer in line. Rumi wisely keeps her mouth shut. She gives Mira a pitying smile to cut her a tiny bit of slack. Rumi gently pinches Zoe's forearm in reassurance. We don't have to go if you don't want to, she promises. She knows firsthand how stressful having plans change can be. Yeah, I don't care, Mira says with a shrug, hands in her pockets. There's always next time. Cramming every single ride into a day for any theme park can be hard, but we're grateful you tried anyway, Rumi adds helpfully. That makes Mira snort. Rumi elbows her with a dirty look, but Mira explains, I mean, if you think Zoe can't cram Disneyland into a day, just wait till we get her to try Disney World. Mira laughs and Rumi joins her deep from the belly. If there's anyone she trusts to fill 50 notebooks with the most efficient way to speedrun a theme park, they both know it would be Zoe. She is the same girl who managed to live stream doing a seventh night for 6 nights of Benny's, all while speedrunning a row of stacked cups. Their laughter fades, and Rumi finally notices the tightness in the corners of Zoe's lips as she laughs and smiles with them. She blinks, and Zoe's already facing away from her to duck down and scroll through her phone. So, Matterhorn? Zoe says brightly. Rumi glances over at the giant mountain looming in front of them. She grimaces. Matterhorn bobsleds isn't her favorite ride. It was loud, gave her a headache, and left her with nothing but gratitude that technology has come far enough to make her 18-hour flights on her private jet be infinitely less jerky than a commercial roller coaster. But Rumi can't say no to Zoe's starry eyes. Mira's looking pointedly in the other direction to avoid falling for that trap and to push Rumi into it instead. Typical. Lead the way, she says weakly to Zoe. Zoe whoops in victory and grabs them both by the hands to sweep them away. She can't wait for this part of their day to be over. Matterhorn is the best fucking coaster. We'll get there. I need to drink. And I need to take a freaking like throat pastille. I also need to eat after this. I couldn't eat properly. Where's my freaking? Oh, here it is. My beautiful golden box of my beautiful golden box. Anyway. I love my friends. Picture of Zora Momdani Sunshine. No, like literally. I also live in the best country in the world. I love my country, New York City. I love you, Rose. Zoe is going to 1v2 them in a fight, right? Please look after yourself. I only have like less than a third of the chapter left. I'm just doing a little mini pool break. I wonder if Sunny is streaming this today as well. I don't think I'll be able to join, but I'll check it out. I'm just looking at Sunny's Twitter. I feel like they might do it tonight. Sorry, I got distracted on Twitter again. Okay, I'm back. Next part is Zoe POV. Obviously. Okay. Matterhorn is the best fucking coaster she's been on in her entire life so far anyway, which is definitely something to brag about because she rode that stand-up roller coaster when it first opened at Six Flags as a kid. I've never been to Six Flags. That shit scares me. And I love roller coasters. She already had a feeling that Mira and Rumi weren't going to share her very right opinion from the way they kept glowering at the mountain whenever they thought she wasn't looking. Too bad they are wrong all the time and she's right sometimes. She totally would have made them line up again for Matterhorn if their eyes didn't look so sunken with trauma when they finally shimmied out of the cramped one-person seats. Zoe honestly thought Mira was exaggerating how bad it was while they were in line until she started limping over to the benches nearby, one hand on her lower back like an old man. It makes her snort under her breath, and Rumi weakly swats at her arm to get her to pull it out. "Oh, puppy, are you okay?" Zoe asks, putting her hand between Mira's shoulder blades to guide her to sit on the bench. She's as amused as she is concerned by Mira's deep groaning and bent pretzel back. Not that seeing Mira's bent back is usually God. Mira waves off her concern with another groan. She twists around to slump back first on the bench, and she melts into it with an exaggerated sigh. Honestly, rich girls can be so dramatic. It wasn't that bad. It wasn't even that bad, Zoe insists. Did they give you a bad seat? Should we sue Disney? I've always wanted to sue a corporation to see what it's like. Girl, she's so real. Rumi laughs at her excitement. She sits down next to Mira and places the back of her hand on Mira's forehead. Zoe can tell that Mira's truly knocked the fuck out if she won't even bother waving Rumi away. Zoe happily sits down on her other side to check Mira's pulse at her wrist. Mira told her once that hypothyroidism runs in her family, and she's not about to let her best friend die at the happiest place on earth. She's fine, Rumi says, unconcerned. Instead of drawing all the way back, her knuckles slide over the side of Mira's temple to tuck her hair back her ear for her. She's just being dramatic. You try having your knees tucked to your chest and having your bones knocked into your ribs every half second, Mira grunts. Zoe slides her nimble fingers into Mira's hand after confirming that Mira is indeed not dying of a low heart rate. Mira squeezes her fingers. She can tell it's a reflex from the way Mira's fingers instantly go limp a second later. It makes her giggle. We'll go on something chiller after this, I promise, Zoe says, pinching each of Mira's fingertips. Where are we going? Rumi asks curiously. The teacups, Zoe says happily. Mira groans again, slamming the back of her head against the hard bench. Even Rumi makes a face. See? Dramatic rich girls. Teacup rides are child's play. Mira jokes that the live band in the distance, with their brass instruments and loud drums, is just ushering them to their doom. Her dramatic rich girls jokes are starting to get old, so Zoe sticks her tongue out at her and teases, maybe I should just ask someone else wandering the park alone if they want to. So how many people can fit in those cups? Mira asks loudly. 3 to 4, Zoe says happily, whisking them both away to the wonderful mat tea party. Or more if you have enough willpower, like me. Rumi frowns. Why do we need more than... There's too many children around to make another joke about it, lest she get in trouble with the head mouse. So Zoe shushes them both as they get in line. The line is a lot shorter than the others they've hopped into, which is a good thing for all three of them, because Rumi and Mira can see that being in the common people's line is always a death sentence, and Zoe doesn't have to hear them whine about the herd or no refreshments and caviar served to them while they're in line. They do argue about what color teacup to take, though. They choose yellow in the end, partially because the other parents and kids are already swarming the nice pastel hues of purple, blue, and pink, and mostly because Zoe wanted to make a joke about, well, you guys keep pissing in my cup today. They don't have time to question her in the middle of her riddles. Oh, the Mad Hatter would be so proud of her. Before the ride operator brightly says, enjoy your spin, and jerks them slightly forward on the track. Zoe slaps her hand over her chest in surprise at the sharp blink against her skin. They don't touch the wheel in the center for a while. Rumi seems hesitant to go near it, and Mira balks at the sight of it. It's Zoe who gives it the first tentative half turn. It reminds her of learning to drive with her dad when she was 15. And then they had to sell their car months later, and she was banished to skateboarding around California for the rest of her life. So at least those lessons brought her here and gave her the confidence to hand over hand the fuck out of a teacup in front of two pretty girls. It's impossible not to laugh when their teacup starts to spin even faster. Something about spinny rides like this has always made her so happy, even as a kid. Her mom used to grip her shoulders and dig her nails right into her skin like the spinning dragons in Korea would throw them right off like a cartoon. She can still hear her dad shouting at her to go faster and faster. Life is too short to worry about throwing up later in a park trash can. Half of the fun is enjoying it before that has to happen. And yeah, sure, she feels sicker on this 2-minute ride than she did as a kid, with her heartbeat pounding directly into her ears and nausea sitting like a lump at the base of her throat. But that's just part of growing up. Probably. And it's easy to pretend that she isn't as sick as she is with Rumi directly in front of her. Rumi, who grabs onto the round plate at the center under a spell of bravery, and who spins it so fast with Zoe's help that they go round and around much faster than the other dozen riding with them. Her incredulous laughter at Rumi's impulsive behavior, because when has real Rumi ever been described as anything less than the controller, other than when they had climbed to the top, and makes Rumi laugh even harder. Rumi's breathless laughter sounds more like music to her ears than the whimsical music playing over the speakers. She knows that Rumi is wearing lip gloss from the way her flyaways stick to her lips, but Rumi doesn't seem to notice or care. Spin and spin until the worries about yelling too loud or how their hairdos look fade away. She likes this look on Rumi for a lot of reasons. She's loved Rumi for most of her life, and she's spent every day since she was a preteen thinking she could adore Rumi more tomorrow than she does today. Zoe's been wrong about a lot of things, especially things she used to believe when she was a kid, but not about that. Then maybe it'll be you. The back of Zoe's mind whispers, maybe I should just pick you. Ah, choices. She can't get away from the inevitable, even while she's somewhere that's promised to take her mind off the real world. Girl, polyamory exists. Girl. Though she knows that's always been bullshit, she's here to spend time with them, maybe for the last time together for God knows how freaking long, just as much as she's here to see which of them she should, if they eventually, which they will, make her choose. The thought alone makes her balk. It makes her breath catch while they spin, but no one in their teacup seems to notice. They're spinning fast enough for them not to get caught up on their choked breath. By the time the ride starts to slow down, Rumi and Mira already look winded. It's hard to breathe when they're spinning 500,000 miles per hour, but it was nice, and the nausea climbing in her throat doesn't feel as prominent anymore. She has the Dramamine she took after us to thank for that. Alice, with her British accent, reminds them not to leave the teacup until it comes to a full stop. Reese spills out first, then takes Zoe's hand to help her cross over the gap. They giggle when Zoe trips right into her chest, where Rumi just delicately tugs the back of Zoe's hand to press against her mouth in a small, public gesture. Not that anyone else except them could see. And the pale-faced Mira, who looks about 2 seconds from throwing up. Oh fuck, Zoe blurts out. A mom gives her a nasty look as she walks away with her kid. But Zoe doesn't really have time to care about that right now. She and Rumi look left and right in a panic, and they take Mira's limp noodle arms to drag her over to the closest trash can under some shade. Mira gags into it, but she doesn't puke. Still, Zoe feels guilty enough to rub circles into her back. Mimi, you should have said something, she cries, pinching a wrinkle in Mira's shirt to pull it back down for her. I'm so sorry I teased you. I wouldn't have minded if you actually. Mira waves her away, and sits back up with a small groan. She rubs the back of her neck with a grimace as she croaks. I'm fine. I was sicker the last time I was on my brother's plane. Do you want to take a break? Rumi asks, the concern coating every inch of her face and tone. It's almost noon. It would be a good time to go eat something. I'm not hungry. I'm not that hungry, Mira says with a grumble. Zoe pinches the back of her neck and Mira whines. Rumi giggles, but she muffles it when Mira gives her a side eye. Let's take a break and eat, Zoe suggests, slightly reprimanding. You're too pretty to be throwing up in a trash can. A nice lady directs them over to the nearby tavern with an E, and happily recommends the gray stuff. Of course, the rich girls wrinkle their noses at the thought of it, but Zoe is more than happy to thank her and run over to try it. Try the gray stuff, it's delicious. Don't believe me? Ask the dishes. Okay. Is she a little disappointed it's not just flavored gray sludge that she could have plopped on top of her lemonade? Slightly, but it's not like she's going to complain about the red velvet cake on the inside. She happily takes pictures of Ruby and Mira with grayish red painted on their chins. Pictures that'll be going right above her monitor for safekeeping. Mira swallows her mouthful of flat bread and accuses, "Why are you looking down like that?" "Like what?" Rumi asks defensively. Like he killed your mom," Zoe happily suggests. Rumi frowns even more. She kind of is looking down at her salad like it told her that her face looked like it was drawn with a left hand. Jesus. Zoe isn't above fighting with a salad bowl, nor is Mira, probably. No, Rumi says with a burdened sigh. Maybe her salad really did run her mom over. I just forgot to order water, and now the line's like that. Oh, that makes more sense. Zoe checks her phone screen and hums in disappointment. At least they beat lunch rush to get the gray stuff and entrees, but the nearing afternoon means that the rest of their rides are going to be plastered with mosquitoes in her ear. That sounds suspiciously like rich girl whining about wait times. She has to hold steadfast. We could always hit up the water fountains, Zoe suggests. She jiggles her mini backpack and grimaces at the lack of sloshing. They chug the remnants of her water bottle somewhere between Pixie Hollow and the submarine. Probs. I saw a free fountain right outside of the restaurant. I heard they keep them ice cold. Rumi and Mira give her hearty laughs at that. Good ones, Mira says, her smirk too high to be simpering or broody. Good suggestion? Zoe blinks and rolls with it anyway. Or I could line up real quick. I'm almost done eating, so Mira waves her away. I'll get it, she says breezily. I'm done eating. Rumi shoots her another look. You almost threw up. I don't mind. Mira's already getting up. She puts her hand on Rumi's shoulder and pushes her back down, and Rumi looks up at her with such an unconvincing glare that Zoe has to fold her lips into her mouth to keep from laughing. Mira combs her fingers through her hair and yawns, which is all kinds of sexily and cutely unfair. I'll be back in 5, she tells them, and she lets herself be swept away by the crowd of parents and other dutiful boyfriends before Zoe and Rumi can protest. She does not get back in 5 minutes. It's like 25 minutes, but Zoe and Rumi occupy the time by sitting close enough to press their knees together and scrolling through Zoe's phone. Her timeline has always been a treasure trove of funny seal videos and opportunities to teach Rumi how to say, "Salutations, huz." Plus, gossiping is always a fun time with Rumi. Who knew Chio from Twice was whoa? Whoa. I mean, who knew? Who didn't? where I went off. Okay. "Mhm," is Rumi's only response. "Again?" "Yes." "For another hour?" "Half hour." Zoe butts in. "Because you want a different drink?" Mira finishes, still as perplexed. Zoe only feels slightly bad for her. Rumi tilts her head. "Why wouldn't you?" she asks. And Zoe honestly can't tell if she's just a really good actress or if she really doesn't see she's baked the fuck out of Mira's anger issues. Don't you see it would be better to line up again and make up for your mistake if you got a girl the wrong thing? And why wouldn't you get something she actually likes? Zoe tacks on. Do you hate her? Would you do the same to Zoe? Do you hate me? Mira doesn't even try to fight back. She doesn't give them the chance to speculate whether it's because she's tired, because she agrees, or because she's been so thoroughly wrung out by the conversation that she had to skip all the stages of grief and force herself into acceptance. Give me a minute, Mira grumbles, her chair scraping gently as she gets up. Neither of them really believe the power of her minute, so they huddle back up against the table to watch short, funny videos on Zoe's phone again. Rumi rests her hand on Zoe's waist the entire time they watch, her fingers ghosting underneath the hem of her shirt. Surprisingly, Mira does make it back in less than a two-digit minute time frame. It's a nice surprise, but Mira answers them before they can vocalize their suspicion. Dude near the front, let me cut in line. Now Zoe has a second question on her mind because God only knows how greedy most Disney people can be, but sometimes maybe turning a blind eye now and again is a good thing. Besides, the giant elephant in the room takes most of her attention anyway. Zoe expected iced tea manufactured in a bottle, like what most people usually get. But of course, Mira had to be nothing less than incredibly petty and romantic somehow at the same time, and gave Rumi a giant glass of peach iced tea. What? Mira groans. Zoe glances over at Rumi's face. And yep, another sad frown. I can't finish all of this, Rumi whines. It doesn't even have a lid. Mia, Mira whines back, face flushed with face flushed with frustration. I kicked my stand. Sorry. I can help chug it, Zoe answers brightly. Calming down her girls is an art that she is slowly learning to master. Mira sighs in relief at the diffusion. She bends down to lightly pinch the back of Zoe's neck and gives her a swift kiss on the corner of her eye. Then she goes back to sitting down and enjoying her, now slightly less cold, bottle of water. It doesn't take long for Rumi and Zoe to finish the giant pop glass. Zoe laughs at her when the iced tea dribbles down her chin, but Mira quietly passes a napkin to let Zoe dab it away. Rumi's still not fond of any PDF, even when they're incognito like this, but she squeezes Zoe's hand under the table and shoots Mira a look that, for once, isn't at all berating. As per Mira's request, they go somewhere that's a bit more chillaxed. Zoe leads the way to Toontown, and as always, Rumi and Mira happily comply. Toontown is a sweet little place, and with no throw up scares to boot. There's more children here than in the rest of the places they've hit up, but she supposes that's the appeal of the bright, curvy buildings that Rumi couldn't stop scowling at as they passed, and the soft jazz that plays as they enter. Zoe obviously forces them to take a bunch of pictures at every interactive building. Oh, look at the fountain! Zoe gushes, pointing at Mickey and Minnie posed on top. Man, the fountains here are so cute. I'm pretty sure they have a wishing well somewhere near the castle we can hit up later. Out of the corner of her eye, she sees Mira and Rumi share a quick glance. It's nothing too suspicious, though. They do that even if she says something as mild as, "Wow, I'm really craving a local peanut butter and jelly burger right now." They skip the rides this time. Zoe doesn't want to deprive a kid of a nice spot on the kiddie coasters, and she definitely doesn't want to see Mira try to puke again. Mira's stomach clearly can't take a kiddie coaster. She wisely doesn't mention that part to them. They spent the next hour going through the walkthrough attractions instead. Zoe makes sure to take 1,000 photos at every stop. Who knows when she'll need blackmail material of Rumi and Mira being forced to hold hands in front of the gag factory. I realized I forgot to share screen. Okay. By the time they've walked through most of the town, the smell of popcorn that had been haunting them for the last few hours starts to catch up with them. A popcorn stand awaits them nearby, and so does Zoe's explosion of random thoughts. Her dad used to joke that she had enough energy to power a Honda, which, looking back, may have been a little more backhanded than she thought at the time. We should play Toontown soon, Zoe says brightly, tapping her chin as she peers into the glass full of freshly popped corn. Popcorn? I used to play the shit out of that game when I was a kid. I was so close to beating the stupid CEO boss before they pulled the plug. She sighs, wistfully dreaming about going back to the good old days of sitting hunched back at the family computer to level up her gags. How do we play it if it's not available anymore? Rumi asks curiously. Buy it, duh, is Mira's succinct response. Zoe huffs with a small eye roll. You can just play the rewritten version, silly, and it's free. You get membership perks and you get membership perks and shit without having to fork over like $5 a month. Then she turns on her heel to give Mira an odd look. Wait, what did you mean by buy it? Looking to get a souvenir bucket today? The cast member asks them brightly. Oh, a regular is fine, Zoe answers. But Ruth and Mira talk over her with an even more certain, what colors do you have? Zoe clears her throat. When they don't take notice the first time, Zoe tries again and nearly hacks up phlegm into her mouth in the process. They have the audacity to give her weird looks until she evenly says, if I knew you guys wanted a popcorn bucket that bad, I would have bought it for you guys a while ago, you know? Because we all made a deal that I'd buy them. Rumi and Mira's necks snap back over to the cast member. Regular's fine, they say quickly. Okay, he says, slightly wide eyed. How many? Just one, they say in unison. Three, Zoe tries. Two, Rumi and Mira correct. Zoe kind of wants to fuck with them and yell five, but there's a line starting to form behind them. Ah, making fun of rich girls. Once again, thwarted by having common courtesy for the general public. There's almost nowhere for them to sit during the early afternoon rush. A sea of screaming kids and tired parents with empty strollers pushing all around them makes Zoe wince. Squishing in like sardines by the plastic benches in Toontown's dog park feels more like trying to squish into a mosh pit for a local band. Zoe barely has time to poke Rumi and Mira in the ribs with her elbow and tease, hey, the sign said to keep all of my dogs on a leash, before the piercing wail of a child nearly makes her spill her popcorn. As much as she loves kids, she's grateful that she can at least spend the day not worrying if her kid has managed to slip away from their backpack leash. Like the kid bulldozing headfirst into Mira's tall knee. All the while she's mid-crunch with her mouth full of popcorn. Mira doesn't seem at all bothered by the intrusion. Mistaking the kid's run toward her as a bid for the popcorn, Mira tilts the paper bag in his direction to offer him some. He just shakes his head. He sniffs, and Zoe finally realizes that he'd been crying. He puts her popcorn bag between her and Rumi to intervene, but Rumi puts a gentle hand on her forearm to stop her. In fact, Rumi doesn't seem nearly as concerned about a crying kid as she should be. Zoe should have figured way sooner. Zoe doesn't call her Annie for no. You okay? Mira asks. For once, her nonchalance is working out for her. Nothing about her lazy posture, or as lazy as a model could be, or the hand in her popcorn screams panicked and alarmed like the rest of the parents here. It's like she's talking to a colleague rather than a slobbery kid. The kid doesn't answer. Not in the way that most kids would, anyway, with stammering and a whole bunch of blubbering that kind of sounds like Zoe when she's been out too late at a bar. His hands fly out in front of him, not in an uncontrolled flail, but with precise, controlled movements, despite the panic radiating from his small body. Zoe glances up at Mira expectantly. She's seen Mira pick up kids and make kissy faces at them. She knows Mira is kind enough to pick up this kid and coo something like, "Oh, you poor thing," and probably demand that they shut down the entire park so they could find the kid's parents. She's really great with kids. Mira knows how to make every kid and person feel wanted and special. Feel safe and wanted and special. Mira laughs in the kid's face. Not those modest Richie Rich laughs either, with the har har har. It's a laugh straight from her belly, way too similar to early mornings when she'd accidentally knock Zoe off her bed. Zoe whacks her in the arm to get her to stop. Mira doesn't care. She only sets her popcorn down by the empty spot next to her and bends at the hip to look at him more closely. Then Mira curls her hand into a fist, nods with it like a puppet, points at the kid, pinches their hands together, opens them, points at him again. Oh, sign language. Zoe tried to teach herself some ASL over the summer break in high school. Not that she retained much, but at least she knows a part of Mira's signing. Yes, and then a question about the kid. But yes to what? Rumi leans over close to her shoulder. Her curls smell like a sea breeze, which is probably just setting spray, but Zoe still wants to munch on the purple like it's cotton candy. Princess, she murmurs. Zoe lets out a baffled laugh. What? Sorry, that was one. What? Rumi glances up at her, the corners of her lips pulling upwards in a grin. He asked if she was a princess, she corrects, but she's still looking at Zoe all funny. Zoe elbows her out of embarrassment. She asked if he was lost. Now he's telling her that he can't find his uncle, and she's asking if it's his first time at the. She pauses thoughtfully to watch them sign at each other. Her friend's castle. Zoe almost laughs at Mira's audaciousness, but in the real world, it honestly would have been sort of right. Being friends with princesses is hardly out of Mira's social circle. Hell, she might have more than royalty. Mira could tell her that one of her grand godmother's name is Song Hye-kyo, and she wouldn't have batted an eye. And who wouldn't mistake Kang Mira for a princess? Zoe catches the drift of their next conversation. Anyone knows what jumping and pointing at an attraction in the distance means. Mira takes it in stride. Her gestures are practiced and calm, if not a little halting as she thinks. Rumi can feel the curiosity radiating off of her. She laughs under her breath and leans back over to whisper. She's just calming him down and asking what happened. He says he got lost in Minnie's house. Mira taps two fingers against another two and points. That one Zoe knows. It's one of the first phrases that she learns whenever she gets random motivation to learn a new language. What's your name? And she knows the kid's answer too, just four letters, which he signs a little slower for Mira's sake, which in turn helps Zoe. His name is Joey. His name is Joey. Then Mira imitates rocking a baby and hopping with her limp hands, and Zoe already knows what she asked before Rumi succinctly translates, like a baby kangaroo. It makes little Joey, or Joey because Joey's already a baby marsupial, but what does she know? Laugh with hiccup. It's nice to hear a kid laugh instead of scream and cry all around them like they were in the fifth layer of hell themed after her second grade recesses. While he giggles away, Mira absentmindedly passes him an unused tissue for him to wipe his nose with. He doesn't turn it away like most kids would. In another world, Mira would have been a wonderful pediatrician. Mira signs again, 4 letters, 2 repeating, which is a lot easier to translate because it's just Mimi. Then Mira swipes her hand over her face with a smile. The gentleness of smiles, the kind that used to make Zoe's stomach feel all weird when they'd sit by the tree and play with the crosswords she snuck into her backpack. You're beautiful, Rumi murmurs close to her ear. Girl. They found him. They found Joey at last. Oh, was this the thing? Was this the thing that y'all were like, oh my God, you're gonna read that? Um, you're beautiful, Rumi murmurs close to her ear. Another accurate translation, which she knows from the way that Joey starts to throw a little tantrum that Mira has to correct with a laugh, though Rumi's still looking at Zoe when she turns to thank her. Her bangs make her eyes look sharper in the sun. Zoe stuffs her mouth with a piece of popcorn in lieu of thanks. Joey signs something too fast for her to throw out a guess. Mira looks over to them, still eating popcorn and enjoying the show. Mira doesn't have to ask them twice. They're already out of their seats and walking around Toontown looking for Joey's uncle before you two wouldn't mind if we looked, makes it out of her lips. Joey's small fit in Princess Mira's strong arms, and Zoe makes sure to give her bicep a nice squeeze before they slip away from the park. It takes a good half loop around Toontown to find him. He's apologetic and tries to thrust money into Mira's arms for finding his nephew before his brother freaking shot me in the ass cheeks. Mira obviously vehemently rejects any sort of payment. She even lets Joey keep the popcorn that he'd been crunching on while they were walking down the exceedingly curvy streets. This is like just Jaime reusing the part in Polaris when they go to a theme park and they find a kid and Mira is really good with the kid. And you know what? He can do that. Listen, I am all for self-plagiarism. I am all for self-plagiarism. I don't know. It might be meant as a reference. It's a canon event. It is. This is just a different cycle of polytrix. It just keeps repeating. The cycle just keeps repeating, but they change as people, and they're like with some like variations. But the cycle keeps repeating. It's a canon event. Okay. Mira laughs while she makes small talk with the uncle. She still has Joey cradled in her arm and leaning into her hip, his smile so bright on his face, and such a far cry from the boy who came up to them, snot-faced and red, a sight so natural that Zoe has to blink a couple of times. She's always known Mira to be good at being kind, good at holding her boundaries steady, good at laughing with her, good with kids. Though Mira's not perfect either. Red hair would suit her just as well as the pink, with how often she growls at her phone when it's half a second too slow or yells back at obvious trolls in the online games they play. Mira isn't perfect, but she's good. Even after all the pushing and shoving from her family, black wolves frothing in the night, Mira had turned out good. If there was anyone who could take the sword out of the stone, it would be someone like Mira. And does she really want all the problems that come with Rumi? Because realistically, if she ever had to stare at the wall and think about her future, would it be Rumi who'd be steady enough with her to build something good? That's not fair, the back of her mind mourns. That's not a fair thing to think about. It's not, but she can't be so greedy as to live in the fantasy bubble she's been in with Rumi for months on end. Sooner or later, spoiled girls like them will grow tired of their toys and move on to the next. Maybe she'll be picked up to play with now and again, but maybe they'll reach for her at the same time and they'll resent the fighting and arguing, as minor as those spats are now. So what if it's you? Zoe thinks, quietly and tucked into the back of her mind. Again, this is the same thing in Polaris where it's like, I love you, I love you. But do I love you like that? I love you. Wait, I love you. It's the same thing. So what if it's you, Zoe thinks, quietly and tucked into the back of her mind. She's too ashamed to let it take over the rest of her mind, but she can feel it hovering around her like a gnat, waiting for her to sink her teeth into what she'd like. What if it's Mira? Good, gentle Mira, who promised to be there for her when they were kids and had never given her reason to think otherwise. Rumi comes to hover by her side. Her finger hooks onto one of Zoe's belt loops and gives it a small tug, a bid for attention so small that she shrugs it off, if not for the shock that Rumi, of all people, had asked for it. Rumi, from the beginning of her last fall semester, would have never done something like this. Mira may have learned how to step away from her aggression over the last few months, but Rumi had learned how to step in with her wants. Have any of your friends called you Joey? Rumi asks curiously. Zoe lets out a breathless laugh. Why Joey? Because it sounds cute, Rumi admits. Rumi, Rumi. Oh, Rumi. Her eyes darting away to watch Mira wave goodbye to their new acquaintances. And you kind of look like a Joey. Oh, what's that mean? Zoe asks, fall offense in her words and pout. Rumi fishes some popcorn out of the bag she's holding and pops one into the corner of her mouth. She grins and answers, like my baby. Zoe hits the side of her fist against Rumi's shoulder. The laughter that comes out of Rumi's mouth sounds free. You're such a... Well, he's off to bed, Mira declares, striding back to them with her hands casually stuffed in her pockets like Zoe hadn't been looking at her like a turkey dinner. And Rumi, probably. What can they say? They have the same good taste in pink women. Where to next? Zoe gives them an apologetic grin. I know we just went, but I kind of want to go back to Fantasyland. But you guys don't have to come with. We can meet up on Main Street when I'm done. Rumi and Mira shoot each other an odd look. Rumi flicks her eyes back to her and asks, why would we? Because we've already been there, Zoe explains slowly. But you want to go back, Mira says just as slowly. I know, I'm sorry, she whines. I know I said I didn't feel like riding the storybook ride when we were there, but now I kind of want to. Mira shrugs. Then we'll go. But you don't have to. We want to, Rumi promises. We didn't come here because we like Disneyland, Jenny. Holy. I am so normal. I am so normal about this. I am so normal about this. I am so normal about this. I am so normal about Jennycomb. I'm so normal. I am so normal. I am so fucking normal. I am actually so... I'm the normalest anyone has ever been. I am so fucking normal. LMAO. Yeah, I read Yaruhi and I thought of you. I'm gonna also send that to my roommate being like, they put Arvik. Well, I'm like giggling like I'm gonna cry. I'm like in between two things. Like I want to cry, but I also want to giggle like crazy. Jeniko means like my dear. Because John means life. So Janam means my life. So Jennycom is like a cuter version of that. It's like sweetie. It's more like sweetie, but it's like derived from Janam. That's the reaction we were waiting for. That crept up on me like I did not notice that. Rumor pendings make me so normal, like so normal, so freaking normal. Jennycom. Now we're waiting for Aşkım, Aşkitom, Balım, Gülüm, Canım. I mean, Jennycom. We got Jennycom. We don't need Canım again. So, Jennycom. Okay. We want to, Rumi promises. We didn't come here because we like Disneyland, Jenny-kun. We came here because we like you. And you have to read it like that. We didn't come here because we like Disneyland, Jenny-kun. We came here because we like you. Because like when people say Jenny-kun, it's almost kind of like Jenny-kun is also something you would like say to your friends, like Jenny-kun, aşkım, gülüm. Like a lot of these pet names can be platonic as well as romantic. Anyway, I'm so normal. I'm so normal. I'm so normal. We came here because we like you. Then she grabs a piece of popcorn and throws it at Mira, who's cackling away. Zoe raises her eyebrows. Stop looking at me like that. Stop looking at me like that. You basically called her the same thing. Called me what? Zoe whines. Mira ignores the question. She laughs again, then teases. Did you feel like you had to one-up me? Why do you think I never call you anything other than Mira? Rumi says, deadpan. Zoe snorts. Don't you have her saved on your phone as that was a joke? Rumi says quickly, then whips her head to Mira. That was a joke between me and Zoe. Like, I don't even really care. I literally don't care for pet names. You know that. Uh-huh. Mira slowly raises her eyebrows, which is Mira speak for, huh, okay. You didn't talk to me for an hour last month because I called you Amira instead of, because I called you Amira instead of, hey, how far is the storybook ride? Rumi wonders out loud. We should probably hurry over before the line gets too long again. It's just too bad for Rumi that Zoe already knows what the distinction was supposed to be. Mira only told her to serve as a warning. Amirati and its likeness only because Rumi quite likes feeling warranted. Aw, Zoe can relate. So does Mira, probably. So no harm, no foul. Zoe giggles under her breath and links arms with her girls to sweep them away for more fun. The funnest of all fun. Who doesn't love Monstro's big smile and big puppy eyes that welcome everyone into the magical world? Oh my god, we're back with the snippets. Oh, we're so back, guys. We're so back. We are so back. Yesterday night, this night I got no phone. Yay! I was reading the new chapter. Exactly. I miss these gay disasters. Wait. That was delightful. That was delightful. Either Zoe or Rumi. I was like almost expecting Rumi to bring up the Joey thing because I don't think. No. Zoe does remember. Sorry, I was confused. Yeah, they're gonna bring it up sometime. I was expecting for Rumi to bring it up. Anyway. Amira means princess, but Amirati is my princess. Oh. Anyway. See? Wasn't so bad. Easing you back into it. Nothing bad ever happens to the Kennedys. Polytrix. Nothing bad ever happens in Disney Academy. Part 2 should be coming next week, barring any other tsunami life events, just as interlude and fluffy as this one. Hence the chapter count again. Endgame, where they get together and nothing bad ever happens to them, is coming quite soon. Aren't we all so excited for them? And they're nearing totally real wedding epilogue. Before I see you next week, pray now. Follow the new GTC Mira account on Twitter. I mean, if you guys don't already follow new GTC Mira. Also, this was crazy to find in my notice, LMAO. What is that? Oh, it's the broccoli. Oh, it's the pilk. It's the pilk tattoo. It's the pilk tattoo. Yeah. The fuck was that? Sorry, someone above me made so much noise. Okay. Anyway. Okay, chapter 30. Innocent, beautiful, wondrous snippet. Ahem. Zoe almost never has a problem saying yes. Okay. Yes to helping someone with an assignment. Yes to collabing with a streamer she doesn't particularly enjoy being around. yes to someone, anyone who might like her or want her, but it's really, really hard to justify saying yes to something like this. Okay. Like my guess, which is probably off because it's too obvious, is like some kind of like girlfriend proposal from both Mira and Rumi. That's my guess. It's really hard to justify saying yes to something like this. Maybe it is to the gift because they do have a surprise for her. The word pilk woke him up like a sleeper agent. Okay, okay. Let's check out the art. Oh, I miss checking out the art. Oh my god. I'm pretty sure I've seen most of this, if not all. Okay. Wait. And especially if it's a video and I've seen it, I'm probably just gonna like pass it by really quick. I mean, I can. Oh my god, this one, I love this one. Okay, you know what? I was just saying, probably just gonna ignore it, but this one is really fucking good. I love it. It's like a trailer. This one's so good. So good.
I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. New faces, I was going through a lot of big changes. Girl, you amazing. Heart spinning, too many races. Yeah, fast lights, fast money, fast cars, big booms, big spoons, big plate, big rates, big syrup, big pancakes. Oh, feel like my heart is full. Yeah, you a book of art, you artful. Feel this bond like a particle. Can I join your lobby or is a party full? Dance floor hitting for the good fun. Is your heart really in it for the long run? I don't care, I'ma die on a big hill. If you don't get it now, then you never will.
Yay! Yay, fun.
Hey DJ, put that beat on. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor. I like that, I like this more. Let's dance, let's hit the floor.
Like, this is so crazy. You are so talented. So good. Okay. I think one is the animatic, which I've already also seen. Yeah. Ria. I mean, yeah, I've reacted to this one. So I'm actually not gonna watch this because this was in May. Yeah, this was a while ago. I reacted to this one. It's on my TikTok. It's really good. If you haven't checked it out, it's so good. It's the second link in the chapter notes. And it's two Demisneylerimiz by Model. It's so good. Thumbnails with music. Oh, yeah. Oh, wait. I actually have not seen this one. Because I like, saw it on my TL, but I haven't like seen
me meow 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 meow. Why do you only love me when I leave? Wait till I disappear to say things I wanna hear.
Awesome.
Why do you only love me when I'm gone? Fuck the boombox and the roses. Skip the cheetah, can't afford it. Just a broke heart, get you on it. Do fun, real boring. Yeah, don't know what you got till it's driving out the light. Why do you only love me?
I know this is supposed to be like a very rough.
Wait till I disappear to say things I wanna hear. Why do you only love me when I'm gone?
Yay! Yes! Oh god, this is so good. Oh, that's good. Damn. I know this will probably not be finished, but man. I love the images
You
of
just dance around it.
the
Open up my mind and
of the
take a breathe. Just to live without it. Yes, you never know.
I love you. I love
When you
you.
die,
Oh,
you're clueless. You're
oh,
broken record playing with my
oh,
heart. Let you do
oh.
it all the time. Why do you only love me when I leave? You wait till I disappear to say things I wanna hear. Why do you only love me when I'm
I'm
down?
banging my head right now. I'm like head banging. Hell yes. Oh, that's so good. Oh shit. Ah okay. I'm gonna read. Okay. Okay. Angsty Ramira and another one. Oh, yeah, I have seen this. I have seen this. Oh, yeah. I won't forget how you looked at me then. I know I'm no sweet principal. Yeah. That's so good. Good. This fandom is so talented. So talented. Olivia Rodrigo edit. To The Cure? I'm guessing. Yeah. 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 Love this song. Oh, that was a short one. That was a short one. Another angsty edit. So many links. I might have. Oh, Jesus Christ, the breakup. Jesus Christ. Bye, Nick. Thank you. Thank you. Another angsty. Oh, it's KJ. It's KJ. I might have seen all of these. I feel like I would have. Or maybe I haven't. Yeah, KJ was on a streak, and I might have missed a lot of these. Please. I think I saw this one. I've seen this one. I've seen this one. And just just gonna check, but yeah, that was Cactus. I was like, that voice is Cactus. Yeah, that voice is Cactus. Yeah. I remember. I've seen that one before. Another. Oh my god, I saw this one. I don't need to see my face again.
I mean camaraderie.
Oh.
Said you're not in my time zone.
Oh
You're
yeah.
happy. What
Yeah.
art thou? Why
This one's
not
cute.
upon of me? See it in my mind, let's fulfill the prophecy. Who's the cute guy with the wide blue eyes and the big bad night? I know it's not a bit redundant.
Cute.
Come right on me.
Oh, shoot. Now I need to go back. Another one? So many edits. Ah! Help. How many GTZ edits have there been done overall? There's so many. There's so many. I still love you, Rumi. Did you really think? Did you really think? Okay, did you really think that I would be with you if I didn't? Now because I don't love you? Because I didn't love you? I love you so much that I hate you. I love you so much that it hurts and I hate you. Thank you for everything you did, but I love you just as much. Of course I do. I sort of must say so fast those lines. I wish I could have you the way I want you. Oh, help! Help! God, did you really think I would be this stupidly angry with you if I didn't? I'm Oh fuck, I forgot. Whatever. An invisible oh.
You've been hiding in plain sight in a beard. Oh, I know. Loving you once only feels wrong. I need you.
I keep forgetting to. Angsty Rumier from Number One Girl that I didn't see. Ooh, might have seen this one before. Oh yeah, I saw Jaime's repost of that. Yeah. So excited to tackle that. I've been not on my game. I will do it, I swear. Kandi Sexy Gorgeous Mira. Oh, this is D? Yo, yeah, of course I've seen it. Of course I've seen this. Why would you make this by the rat? Oh my god. Oh yeah, I saw this one. That is so funny. That is so funny. Thank you, Tov. Last thing, yes, it's a wolf god. Oh, thank God. Thank fucking God. Thank God. Hell yeah. Again? Did I see this one? By Ria? Oh yeah. Oh yeah, I saw this one. I know that Ria also is making another animatic. Zomira for the soul. Oh shit. Is this the one? Ah! Click. Clickety click. Clickety clack. It's not clicking. Anyway. It's Prince. I'll see it later. Chat, I'm gonna go now. I gotta clean up my room and homework. Sugar Mommy 2 has entered the ring. I thought this was Sugar Mommy 1, bro, and we need a new naming system. Oh, this was so far back. This was like chapter 3 or 4. This rules. So cute. Swippity swipe. Tickety, yeah. It's either bricks or fluff with this fandom. Okay, that's it, y'all. I need to eat and then head to my hashtag benefit concert for Palestine. Yeah. I'm going with my friend, and my favorite bands are gonna be there. It's gonna be awesome. And they're doing it at the what is it, Hudson Memorial Church, which I've been in before, and it's a great place. So I'm gonna do the foods and hydrates and then be on my merry way. So to finish this, first of all, I'm gonna say bye to the YouTube. Thanks for sticking by. I can't talk. Bye YouTube. And